I'm So Woonhwi, and my strike dropped him before he finished bragging he could deflect it, the commander who'd stolen the beggar sect leader's forbidden palm technique. I'm a blood cult squad leader, my core ruined, but I had a second core nobody knew existed. How it survived is the part nobody sees coming. Let's go back to the beginning. I'm So Woonhwi, and I drove my blade into the squad commander's chest before he finished gloating. I'm a former spy with a ruined core, and he just exposed himself, wielding a technique only the beggar sect's leader can use. What he never saw coming was a second energy core I didn't know I had. Let's rewind to the start. So Woonhwi is my name, and 10 years captive on that mountain ended the night my fingers finally closed around it, shaking. Half the writing was smudged past reading, but that seal was unmistakable. 800 years buried, and there it was, the Sword Immortal's secret record. This is definitely the real thing. I told myself carrying it out was all I wanted, but a ruined body doesn't allow that. If cultivators knew what I carried, they'd kill me for it. I hid the record inside myself and kept moving until footsteps stopped me cold. There you were. A voice said it was Ma Yang-su, a hall leader in the Murim Alliance. Did you find the record? I hid it somewhere safe. I said, keep your promise and it's yours. Baek-wi-hyung, another elder, cut in. You want the parasite out of your chest, don't you? There was such a promise, then steel rang free. But there's no need for that, Ma Yang-su said, and I froze, staring at the blade drawn on me. Since you don't have a place to return to even after the parasite is removed, isn't that so? I'm So Woonhwi of Yeong's So clan. Years back, a Kai deviation, my own inner energy turning against me, shattered my Dantian, the core below my navel, and my clan cast me out for it. 10 years ago, the blood cult kidnapped you and planted the blood parasite in you, Ma Yang-su said. After that, they worked you like a puppet. His voice went colder. Do you think anywhere offers freedom after so long? Am I wrong, So Woonhwi? He knew everything about me. What are you trying to say? I managed, he answered with a strike that dropped me. Hand over the record first, he said, and I'll consider removing the parasite. The record's hidden somewhere only I can find. I said, don't you know my situation? I'm not expecting the Orthodox sects to make an exception and take me in. Silence answered me, so I kept going. I just want the parasite gone to live like a normal person again. Get rid of it first, and I'll hand the record over gladly. Ma Yang-su laughed, low and mean. Looks like you've thought this through, he said, then his sword came at me again. It's obvious what a small-time spy like you would come up with. Ma Yang-su said, you've hidden it inside your own body, haven't you? These bastards had planned to kill me from the very start. Steel opened my side. Don't hate us for this, So Woonhwi, they said. The moment you became a spy, you were already destined to die. My fists clenched around nothing. Damn it, this was so frustrating. How did I end up like this? Ma Yang-su's blade came down, laughing the whole time, and the world tipped upside down around me, streaked in red and green light. Shit, I gasped. Somewhere above me, he murmured. The secret record inside his body. Then blue light tore up through my own eyes from somewhere inside my skull. What's happening? I managed to think. I didn't have an answer. How could this be happening? Blue flames poured out of me without any heat. Why are there flames surging from inside him? Someone gasped behind me. This is all pointless anyway. I thought, if only there was a next life, I'd live a less pathetic one than this. Then everything went black. I woke up gasping, freezing, laughter ringing over me. Puhaha, look at you. Someone jeered. I stared at my hands, my body. My stomach felt no blood rushing through it. Ash filled my mouth when I woke, and a voice I hadn't heard in years crowed over me. Well, if it isn't Yulan County's good-for-nothing, So Woonhwi. Two strangers loomed over me, grinning. The Henan twins' swift blade they called themselves, fresh off winning some bet. Hadn't I just burned alive? Why so young? Get a grip and pay up, you punk. One snapped, hauling me up. His collar ended up in my fist as I demanded to know something that must have sounded completely insane after everything I'd just survived. What day was it? What kind of question is that? He sputtered. The year of the dog. The bandaged one finally said. 9th day of the 9th month. 10 years, exactly 10 years before the day I died. Straight for the inn I bolted, remembering the night.
Come greet the customers.
Someone called, then screaming broke out, shadows crossing blades in the dark, and I shoved through the panicking crowd with one thought in my head. Where is it? Men grabbed at me, snarling, but I barely heard them.
Found it.
I breathed, the sword my mother left me, the one thing I'd lost and regretted for years. This time I actually had it gripped in my hand, the one thing I'd regretted losing no matter how far I ran in my last life. Then a scream tore through the walls, ears ringing.
Did that come from outside?
Someone asked.
Yeah, I think so. No way was that from outside.
Silence, no time to sit around wondering. I gripped the hilt until my knuckles went white and moved.
Who are those people?
One of the brothers whispered, and the other stepped forward anyway.
Stand aside, I'm going to take a look.
A scream cut off, that sound I already knew. Blood cult bastards, every one of them, and this, I realized, was the exact day they took me. While around us people argued over who was even attacking, whether to run, whether it even mattered anymore. Someone nearby asked if they should run too. Babysitting strangers wasn't an option, not when I already knew they'd grow into martial masters without my help anyway, so I told myself to forget them. Then it hit me. Someone else had been there that night, the only person from my clan who'd ever taken my side.
Sung.
I breathed and I was already moving. Leaving him behind wasn't happening.
Sung, get up. I wasn't sleeping.
He blinked, relieved, then confused as I hauled him up.
Young master, what are you doing? Run, I'll explain later.
The blood cult had broken into the village, and any minute they'd hit the inn itself.
Weren't they wiped out by the Murim alliance? Shut up and believe me. Fine, but isn't the exit that way?
It wasn't. The whole village was surrounded.
How about going to the room and hiding in the wardrobe?
Sung asked.
Too easy.
I said they weren't here for sacrifices, not this time. They were here to capture people like us, and that meant they'd search every obvious place, wardrobes, wine sheds, anywhere a body might hide.
Will we die if they catch us? Don't say something so ominous.
We needed somewhere they'd never think to check. Sung and I found it, a place so disgusting nobody would think to search it. He froze at the door and hissed.
How am I supposed to hide in a shithole? I can't do this.
There wasn't time to argue.
Do we have a choice right now?
I shoved him through the doorway. He yelped.
Wait, don't push me.
And stumbled in. I left him hidden and kept moving. The blood cult would tear this place apart hunting me. A latrine wasn't enough. A hay pile over the water looked workable.
Oh ho, I guess I'll live.
I muttered they'd search the house that stood here, not the straw. The sword stayed in my hand regardless. Then the blade shrieked.
So dirty, don't touch me with those wet hands, you brat. Wipe your hands, you brat.
It snapped.
Are you looking down on a talking sword?
I froze.
Is this blade possessed by a ghost? Ghost my ass, I'm your mother's blade from the Song family left for you.
A sword had answered me, then a pale woman rose from the hilt.
If you hear me, can you see this too? What is this? Am I hallucinating?
Hey, she said.
Brat.
The spirit wasn't done.
Once a sword touches a human, we can read minds. That's how I hear you. I actually hear and see it.
Wood creaked underfoot. Sung's head snapped toward me.
What's wrong with you? It's fine,
the spirit said.
You're the only one who can hear me. Then stop talking.
I hissed.
You're distracting me.
Someone stood silent in the dark. Her voice turned sly.
I'm curious about something. Are you going to stab him if he comes at you?
Footsteps closed in through the dark.
Setting aside whether you're strong enough.
She pressed.
Do you have the guts to do it? Listen to your own heart.
My eye twitched, sweat sliding down my jaw.
You're totally scared.
She said. Under the full moon I moved. Steel flashed. Somebody screamed. He went down screaming, blood spraying across my blade. Scared, not even close. This was excitement, pure and simple.
Just wait and see.
I thought, teeth bared. I'd already died once in this life. Whatever it took, I meant to survive it this time.
Not bad,
the spirit said, eyeing the body in the hay.
I took you for someone who talked to sword hilts. Keep quiet,
I told her.
You're distracting me. Just conversation.
She huffed. There was no point arguing, so I ignored her.
Brat, I hear you.
Then the problem hit me because the blood cult never sent fewer than 3 on a job, and the rest were coming. Ah Song wouldn't stay hidden forever, and getting caught meant dying without a chance to explain. I needed to move.
Hey, So Woonhwi.
The spirit said.
Not now.
I muttered.
I want that too.
She said.
But there's a blood cult warrior close by. What? Did I interrupt?
She asked.
Carry on.
In the dark, a masked figure watched me.
That was interesting.
He said.
Are you going to stop there?
Someone had watched the whole fight. I felt the weight of him before I saw him, an intermediate grade warlock, a step above the scout I'd killed. No chance against him, not yet. The spirit's voice slid into my head.
Want me to help? Don't distract me.
He stepped out of the dark.
Impressive, killing a basic grade warlock in an ambush.
He said.
You're basic to intermediate yourself. Here's my offer.
The masked cultist said.
I'll let you live if you surrender.
Provoke him, that was the play.
If you wanted me dead, you wouldn't have mentioned my grade.
I said.
You want to capture me alive.
The sword spirit shrieked in my head.
Are you crazy? Why provoke him? I've got something in mind.
I told her. He just laughed.
You're a gutsy one, aren't you? Let's see if you're as capable as your mouth.
The masked cultist said and came in fast. My Dantian, the energy center below my navel, was barely third-rate, nowhere near enough to trade blows with him. But I could still see the attack coming, every angle of it.
Too slow,
I said, stepping out of the way.
Good eyes, slow reflexes. That last one would bite.
He admitted.
I'll turn a blind eye to the warrior you killed. Just come quietly.
He said and struck.
Not a chance.
I twisted clear and got a hit in. Then his sword found me anyway.
You bastard.
He spat.
Impossible. I stabbed him at that range and he still dodged it.
His eyes went red with fury.
You brat.
Steel rang out, and this time I couldn't get clear.
Cog.
I hit the ground hard, too optimistic. I hadn't expected him to dodge at that range. No choice now but to fight.
Woonhwi, I'll help you.
The sword spirit said.
You can't win without me. What can you do here? Gosh, you're stubborn.
She said.
Fine, I already caught his left eye. I'll keep aiming for that side.
Damn it, I muttered.
I wanted to settle this peacefully. Looks like you're rushing to die, brat.
He said.
Bringing you back in one piece was the plan, not anymore. I'm killing you right here, right now. I'll rip you to shreds.
Red light tore through the dark, some blood cult technique, and it hit faster than anything I'd faced.
This is.
There was no keeping up, every strike aimed straight for a killing spot. Damn this bastard.
You get what you just did to me.
He snarled. My counter had cost him an eye, and he wanted blood. Was he going to toy with me before finishing me off?
Too late for regrets.
He said.
You're dying today for sure.
Red light tore toward me. Was he insane, throwing this at someone my level? Attack blind or think, no time.
Stab from the front. What?
Wait, I'd actually blocked that.
You'd be dead without me.
The sword spirit said, half amused.
A third-rate weakling like him is painfully easy to read.
I owed her one twice over now.
Sorry for shutting you out.
I said.
Can you help me?
She went quiet a beat.
I was born a rare species.
She finally said. Rare species. He was careful, circling with me in the dark, waiting for an opening.
If I read his attacks, is there a way you can hit him?
The spirit asked. Getting him to swing wide was our only real shot. Across the clearing, the cultist muttered.
How did he block all of that?
Then caught himself.
He probably just got lucky. I'll make sure to kill you this time.
He snarled. Same, I said.
All right, shall we get started then?
The spirit asked.
Block everything first, let the fight drag out. Got it,
I said. Then her voice came fast.
Right shoulder, a faint right rib.
Every strike he threw, I turned aside before it landed.
Impossible.
The cultist choked, backing up.
There's no way he's reading me this well.
Hit a man's blind spot, she told me, and the counter lands before he can guard. Slow down by half a beat, the spirit said, and we'd win the exchange outright. The cultist saw an opening and lunged.
TCH rat bastard.
I let him commit, then moved.
Right now.
My blade found him before he could reset.
This is impossible.
He gasped.
That's what you were about to say when I surprised you, right?
I said and drove in again.
Lurk, cog.
The strike caught my arm and I felt it give.
You idiot, did your arm break?
The cultist sneered.
It's tempting to go for my blind spot, but you're still third rate,
he said and came down on me under the moonlight, screaming.
Go to hell, brat.
The hilt shook in my hand. It didn't matter.
Right now.
Before his weight even landed, my blade found him.
And no.
He never saw the last cut coming, and when the blade connected, I knew I'd won.
Are you all right? Can you get up?
The spirit asked, hovering over his body.
Yeah, I'm all right,
I said.
That was some impressive acting.
She told me.
I actually thought you'd broken your arm. It wouldn't have worked if he hadn't fought so carefully.
I said.
That last part was slick.
The spirit said.
Springing out, slashing his neck like that. Only because you helped.
I said.
Thank you, So's short sword. I am indeed So's short sword.
She said, stiff.
Why so flustered? I'm not flustered, I was surprised. Then wipe the blood off me properly.
She snapped.
It's your mother's keepsake.
A voice cut through the dark.
So Woonhwi, lower your head.
Smoke and frost still hung in the air when he stepped out of it.
This is ridiculous,
the new cultist said.
I came out here fast because 2 of my men went missing.
He looked down at the bodies, then at me.
Don't tell me they actually lost to some kid.
He muttered, disgusted. No answer came. Blood ran down my face and I couldn't feel my legs. Back home, they called me Yiyang County's good for nothing. I'd wrecked my Dantian, the seat of my Kai, my inner energy, in a training accident called Kai deviation, and my own clan wrote me off after that. Even the scouts sizing me up for the cult weren't impressed.
He'll die in basic training.
One said.
Look at him. Fear alone made him wet himself. Don't kill me, great warrior.
I begged, wrists raw from the rope binding them.
Whatever you want, albeit a spy, anything, just spare me.
The sniffling was real, and so was the shame. I'd begged this exact way once before in the life that ended here. Calling to the sword spirit got me nothing. Silence. She only talks to me when my hand's on the hilt.
You took down 2 of my subordinates with this old thing.
The blood cult captain asked, turning my mother's short sword in his hand.
Not bad for someone without a Dantian.
His opinion of me had climbed a notch since last time. The scouts argued whether I was worth grooming as a spy, listing better recruits, until the captain cut it short.
No real need for a defect, just kill him.
The captain's man drew his blade, same ending, I thought. Different road, same grave, so I did what worked last time.
Please spare me, great warrior, whatever you ask, I'll do it.
The blood cult captain laughed.
Watching how it plays out before you beg, now pay for my subordinates.
The blades came down, think So Woonhwi, by time. Dying twice in a life I'd already lost wasn't happening. Laughing was involuntary, ugly, hysterical, right there on my knees.
Nice watching a man beg to live.
The blood cult captain sneered.
Why not beg like a dog instead?
Then I noticed it, white leather wrapped tight around the newcomer's sword, a weapon I'd seen before. The blood cult captain spotted it too and dropped to his knees.
Blood rule the world,
he breathed.
Respects to the 4th blood star.
The scouts scattered into whispers, one of the 4 blood stars here. The blood cult captain waved it off as impossible until he turned, looked, and froze.
I pay my respects to the 4th blood star.
He gasped, dropping to his knees. The blood cult ran on 11 executives above everyone else, 4 supremes, 7 blood stars. This one, I realized, I'd never met her in my previous life. The scouts snapped straight, rigid as spears. The rumors about her were real.
Raise your head,
she said. I did.
How interesting.
Do Jangho mused, violet flame curling around her veil.
No one's ever picked me out on an inspection before. How did you know it was me?
She asked.
When you're not even in our cult. Your sword, I said. There's a charm on it. I recognize that piece. You're observant,
Do Jang-ho said.
but how when you're not even in our cult?
So I gave her part of it.
In my previous life, I survived 7 years as a blood cult spy without getting caught. I've talked my way through worse. Truth is, blood cult blood runs in me. A bloodline in the So clan's son. How?
The blood cult captain sputtered, silence, then I answered.
My maternal grandfather.
He'd left the Blood Wolf squad crippled, looking for somewhere quiet to vanish with my mother. That's how my maternal grandfather settled in Yulin County. His wounds never healed, so my mother worked to cover the medicine, took a servant's post in the So clan, and met my father there. That's how I was born.
Your maternal grandfather was in the Blood Wolf squad.
Do Jang-ho said.
Interesting, keep talking. TCH, is this not enough?
That was me hating the training my grandfather gave me. He'd compare me to No Sangu, the Blood Wolf squad captain's son, who'd finished the same drills at my age, and he said the cult would find me eventually. Do Jang-ho worked it out.
How you killed 2 of our members with a destroyed Dantian would make sense.
He said I panicked.
Don't be ridiculous.
One of the scouts shouted over him.
Oh, Blood Star, don't listen to that brat.
Do Jang-ho didn't raise his voice.
You,
He said, and something dark rose off him, spikes of pressure that folded the man in half.
I apologize, please forgive me.
The scout begged, then he turned to me, calm again.
Sorry for the disturbance.
But I caught it in his eyes. He noticed something was off.
Why did you beg for your life instead of telling that captain who you were?
Do Jang-ho asked.
I was scared of punishment. I killed 2 of your members. I'm sorry.
I said. They dragged the captain off, laughing like a madman.
He went too far.
Do Jang-ho said.
Your grandfather was one of us. That makes us brothers, doesn't it?
What I felt wasn't relief, it was fear.
We almost lost a precious descendant of our cult.
Do Jang-ho said.
How about succeeding your grandfather's will and joining us?
I bowed my head.
That'd be an honor, 4th Blood Star. I'm sure my grandfather would be pleased as well.
Somehow I'd survived the moment, but what was the point of regressing, of clawing back 10 years, if I just ended up volunteering for the blood cult again? Cultists all around me chanted about the blood demon and blood ruling the world.
Welcome back to our cult,
Do Jang-ho said, and just like that, I was one of them again. Then he spoke.
It's fate that we found a descendant of our cult. I shall grant you one wish.
Why would the cult hand a kid like me a wish? He had to be testing how I'd answer.
I'd like the short sword back.
I said.
It's my mother's keepsake. Keepsake.
Do Jang-ho repeated, then turned to the captain.
Hand it over. Be but 4th Blood Star, what did he do with this sword?
The captain stammered.
I won't say it again.
Do Jang-ho said. He studied the sword.
A little old, but a good blade.
Then he cut it.
It needs to pay for the blood it spilled.
2 fingers, that's all it took, and the noise didn't seem real. He'd done it to warn me, and it worked.
Oi, get up.
Do Jang-ho said.
How long are you intending to sit there? Why, yes, sir.
I said, snatching the sword back. Then the sword spirit flared to life, hair erect.
Kayak my hair. Calm down, ghost sword.
Do Jang-ho told her.
I'll get you to a blacksmith. If I could move myself, I'd carve his head bald.
The sword spirit huffed.
So would I.
I said.
Are you really from the blood cult? Why didn't I know that? Not quite a lie, not quite the truth.
I said.
You deserve the truth. Would you believe I came back from 10 years ahead?
She stared. Somewhere else that night, unseen men were already digging into my mother's past. Someone still didn't trust me.
He knows too much about the blood cult. Pay attention to him.
And the answer came fast.
Yes, sir.
Then the sword spirit drifted close, wanting my story straight.
You spied for the blood cult for 10 years, then died unfairly and woke up back here.
She said.
And now you can talk to me.
I said.
Because I came back too. No wonder you're not as foolish as the Woonhwi I remember.
The sword spirit said.
Still, you're unlucky. You clawed your way back 10 years and got dragged into the blood cult again. Wouldn't it be easier to abandon Asong?
I can't do that. I said he was the only one who treated me like a person, and last time he died protecting me. Today, I paid that debt back.
Guess you're not the pushover I took you for.
She said,
Information's a weapon, and you're holding the best kind there is. You know every misfortune coming, so you can dodge it or turn it to your advantage.
why just survive when I had 10 years of answers in my head?
I want to use every chance I've got.
She said.
Lower your voice, idiot.
I hissed. Better to keep this quiet for now, she decided.
Ugh, boring.
She muttered, then brightened.
You can build internal energy again. Want me to teach you martial arts?
Yeah, hummy. I said it was a short sword style only her old master ever used, and she was the last one alive who knew it.
Listen up, I'll walk you through it.
She said.
Fine, I'm listening.
I told her. Blue flames swallowed me.
What's happening? Where are these flames coming from?
The world dissolved into stars, and I hung there, weightless.
Where am I? What's going on?
A voice answered, calm and vast.
Now that you've obtained a sword mind, your future will be opened.
A sword mind was the seed a ruined body needed to cultivate again.
Wait, isn't this So's short sword?
Something else took shape.
That's...
Blue light crackled around my fist as I gasped awake.
I'm back, what was that?
The sword spirit rounded on me.
Where'd your mind wander off to? Real effort went into teaching you.
Do you see this? I asked, showing her my hand.
Wait, dots shaped like the Big Dipper. Big Dipper, my foot, those are just faint spots.
I said. She vanished.
It'll take 10 days before we arrive. Wait, I'm just saying I'm tired.
I said, gripping the hilt tighter.
All right.
She said, backing off, but I couldn't shake it. Those same blue flames had flared right before I got thrown back 10 years. I sat among the other captives, staring at my hand. This had to trace back to whatever that old sword immortal left behind. On the road, I kept flexing my hand, willing the mark to surface again. Nothing. Then the wagon jolted to a stop. A guard's voice cut through the canvas.
Wake up, you brats, get on your feet. Try anything funny and you'll be killed on the spot.
We groaned and shuffled out into the light.
Move faster, gather in the front.
Someone barked. They marched us into Issyk Blood Valley, a blood cult breeding ground where kidnapped kids got broken down and rebuilt into killers before they understood what they'd lost. The valley captain spotted me first.
Well,
he said.
Yulen County's washout.
Then a hand grabbed my shoulder, Song Jae-wabik and So Woonhwi, the two I figured had escaped clean.
Wait,
Woonhwi said.
Why aren't you tied up? It's complicated,
I admitted. Woonhwi's eyebrow shot up.
Complicated how?
Before I could answer, the captain's voice cut through the crowd, ordering us to reach an empty platform behind him in the next 5 seconds like our lives actually depended on it, which, knowing this place, they probably did. Nobody moved. Grabbing Jae-wabik's sleeve, I muttered.
Follow me unless you want to die. What?
I broke into a sprint before the captain even hit 5, ignoring every shout behind me because 5 seconds was never enough time to survive whatever came next in this place.
Hey, So Woonhwi.
Someone yelled.
What the hell do you mean?
Jae-wabik and Woonhwi scrambled after me, no idea why. A masked figure watched from the crowd, silent. Then a scream ripped through the yard. My stomach dropped.
Brother, look behind you.
Someone screamed and the yard erupted again.
This is happening exactly like Woonhwi said it would.
3 knelt, shaking.
We follow him no matter what.
1 muttered. The overseers running this camp for years stood there watching, because in all that time they'd never once seen prisoners kneel and pledge themselves to another prisoner instead of the cult.
That's rare,
1 finally said. Someone had reported the kidnappings, and passing as cult blood meant I couldn't afford a flicker of suspicion, because the moment they decided I wasn't the real thing, I'd become the example made in front of everyone else. The valley captain threw his arms wide.
Everyone, attention, you've all been chosen. The blood demon has led you to the blood cult faithfully.
Silent.
Stop bullshitting.
Someone snapped.
He'll be made an example of.
A guard muttered, and I knew what that meant. Fear runs the whole system, obey or die, and everyone around you falls in line out of terror, and that's the design, not an accident.
How scary,
Woonhwi said, looking at my face.
how'd you survive this?
Not proud of it. I'd survived by submitting, by killing for them for 10 years.
We'll begin the cult admission ceremony.
The valley captain announced, then pointed at me.
What's in this box? The blood parasite.
I said, and the yard went silent.
Explain it,
He ordered.
to your comrades.
It's a parasite that burrows into your chest and does nothing as long as you choke down the cult's life pill every day, but does everything the moment you forget. That's the leash.
So Woonhwi, how do you know all this?
Someone whispered. The captain grinned.
Perfect, you really are a faithful son of our cult.
The truth was worse than anything he could have guessed. I had worked as their spy once, in a life I was standing here trying to undo.
Here's my offer.
He said.
Prove your loyalty, take the blood parasite first.
Refusing wasn't an option. Going first was supposed to be an honor. Someone behind me muttered that Captain O had taken a shine to me. Another voice shot back that I wasn't confirmed as real cult blood yet. I recited what they fed me.
I submit to the blood demon. May blood rule the world. Thank you for giving me this chance.
Then I swallowed the parasite. My chest caught fire. My chest wasn't hot anymore, it was burning. Someone grabbed my collar.
Your chest, what's happening suddenly?
I didn't have an answer.
I don't know.
I told him because that was the truth. Across the clearing, Captain O caught sight of me, doubled over, and went still.
Did that fellow do something?
Someone asked him, he didn't answer. Then the same fire hit someone else. Captain O's face twisted, sweat cutting through the blood on his skin.
This bastard.
He snarled, reaching out like he could tear the pain from the air. Whatever I'd done to my own parasite hadn't stayed with me.
What the hell did he do to the blood parasite that's in me?
Now I had an enemy who didn't know why yet.
A descendant of our cult, falling apart during a sacred ceremony.
Captain O spat, forcing his voice steady. A guard rushed over.
Is the trainee fine? He's all right. The parasite got provoked when he swallowed it.
His hands wouldn't stop shaking, and that embarrassed him more than I did.
Turn your back to me.
He ordered.
I'll use my own energy to calm it down. Turn around now. Wait, please stop.
I meant it. That energy pouring into my chest was heading straight for the wreck 10 years of a shattered core had left behind, and one wrong push there could tear it back open.
Tighten your abdomen.
Captain O ordered, ignoring me. Panic finally won.
Captain, please stop.
When it ended, he brushed past me.
I told you, didn't I, that I'm fine?
A white-haired trainee wouldn't drop it.
Puhahaha, how on earth did you fart in that situation? How long are you going to keep teasing me? You've been very entertaining.
He said, still grinning. I pressed a hand to my chest instead of answering. That alien feeling was gone now, and I felt lighter than I had in days.
Hey, blood cult spy.
Someone called.
Where are we going?
Spy, I echoed.
I don't know everything, punk.
A call cut through the noise.
Everyone, attention, will now perform grade evaluations. Don't make a fuss.
A different captain had run this in my last life, and I couldn't tell if today's shift was because of what I'd just caused.
Do you see the caves behind me?
The overseer asked.
Each one hides an examiner. You'll have to clear them all.
3 ranks waited, basic, intermediate, advanced. Captain O held up his wrist.
See this blue band? Only advanced warriors wear it and their parasites vanish. Climb high, get rewarded.
Around me, trainees lit up like he'd promised freedom itself. They didn't understand that earning that band was how you became a blood cult member. A hand closed on my shoulder.
Didn't I tell you not to make a fuss? That's not.
A flute cut through the yard and my chest caught fire. Everyone blinked.
Why cover your ears? It's not even loud.
I doubled over, gasping, while every trainee around me started screaming and clawing at their throats as the parasite answered each and every single note perfectly.
Woonhwi, are you all right?
That flute wasn't music, it was a leash. Trainees groaned in the dirt while the valley overseer barked without any sympathy.
How long do you intend to lie there? Get up.
Everyone scrambled upright fast.
Discipline now.
He said, bored. I sat apart, shaking. My Dantian, the energy center below the navel, long gone. Only the sword spirit could see me shake.
Because you covered your ears.
She asked.
Even covered the parasite rampages.
I said. The choice was already made. Swallowing the parasite meant no walking it back. The boastful trainee sneered anyway.
No Dantian, huh? I'll reach advanced grade, cut this thing out, and come back for you.
When Captain O called for volunteers, his hand shot up.
I'd like to go first. Trainee, step forward.
Yes, sir. He turned on me.
Watch me, So Woonhwi. I'll prove I'm better than you, even without your help.
Then he swung. Captain O grabbed the boastful trainee mid-swing and slammed him into the dirt.
Don't move as you please. You're a mere trainee. Only move when instructed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. His words blurred as the shouting continued. Then the valley overseer turned to me.
Yeong So Clan, So Woonhwi. You'll be first for the grade evaluations.
Me, someone behind me muttered.
Does the cult's precious bloodline have complaints?
I sighed. He was scheming again. Captain O pressed a blade to the trainee's throat, mock sweet.
I merely wanted to thank you for your kindness.
At the cave mouth, the valley overseer waved us forward.
Line up, enter in sequence.
Alone at the entrance, this test stung more than I expected, and the sword spirit still teased me about the plaque I'd carried in my last life.
Blood Wolf Squad.
I admitted, a voice cut through the dark.
Are you So Woonhwi from Yulan County?
I knew exactly whose voice that was. The sword spirit went rigid.
You know him very well,
I said.
He was my superior in my previous life. Which squad?
She pressed.
Don't tell me you were a porter. Blood Wolf Squad brat.
Her eyes widened.
The captain then.
Blood Wolf Squad Captain No Sambu stood over me, patience gone.
Why aren't you answering?
He demanded.
I asked if you're So Woonhwi from Yulan County.
Captain O had already fed him my name. No matter, I'd fooled Do Jangho too, a total stranger. Tricking No Sangbu would be easy. I'd known him in my last life.
Yes, I'm So Woonhwi from Yulan County, Yeong So Clan.
I said.
Blood Wolf Squad Captain, I've heard a lot about you from my grandfather.
His face didn't move.
That's an obvious lie.
His hand found his hilt.
What? Your grandfather, a Blood Wolf Squad warrior. No one in the squad fit that profile.
Steel rang free.
Who the hell are you? You must have a death wish.
No Sangbu said, blade raised at my throat.
Your grandfather serving under my father. I trained under him from the bottom. I remember every name that served him.
He had me, the sword spirit's voice cracked.
You're caught, want me to pull you out. That only makes it worse.
I said, I need to save my face. Then someone screamed.
Woonhwi below.
The ground tore open under me. Every blow made my back feel ready to snap. No Sangbu moved faster than anyone I'd faced, and I couldn't get him to stop swinging long enough to talk. Then everything went black.
Woonhwi, wake up.
Jaywabik's shout dragged me back into my body.
I'm okay,
I said.
That hit rattled me more than I'll admit.
The sword spirit cut in, urgent.
Pull yourself together, here he comes.
The ground tilted, my vision blurring.
What did you say?
No Sangbu asked, and all I managed back was,
Shit.
The sword spirit's voice sharpened.
You hit your head, I think.
She said.
Defend exactly how I tell you. A horizontal slash is coming for the right side of your neck. Now block it.
Instinct threw my blade up, and the strike still nearly took my head off. Chains held me down, head throbbing.
Damn, I almost died.
I thought, thanking the spirit riding my blade. The sword itself was gone, flung out of reach.
Speak.
No Sangbu ordered, hauling me up by the collar.
Who told you about me?
Captain, I said.
Don't you want to find your younger sister?
His face went white.
My younger sister. You've dug up a lot about me,
he said. He scoffed.
But it seems you don't know my sister died.
I held his stare.
No Sewa is alive.
I said.
The day your father was murdered, she was kidnapped. Why was her body the only one burned? That corpse was a fake.
He froze.
If you want the rest,
I said.
Let's make a deal. To think you even know her name.
He muttered.
So you aren't bluffing.
He decided to hear me.
Where's Sewa now?
He demanded.
The Flower Moon Merchant Association.
I said, his jaw tightened. That name answers to the solitary blood saint.
Don't tell me the man behind my father's death.
It's who you think, I said.
The one who wanted to gut your revenge and seize the Blood Wolf squad is Jang Ryang. No,
he snapped.
The wounds on my father's body matched.
Did you see it yourself? He asked.
No,
I said.
But the Flower Moon Merchant Association and their leader No Wall confirmed your father's wounds.
He went quiet, wavering.
Your sister's at their Jinhai County branch.
I pushed.
Send someone you trust to check.
He studied me like a stranger.
Who are you? Help me when I ask.
I said.
If you're lying,
he warned,
I'll cut your tongue out. The blood parasite's already inside me.
I said.
Why would I lie, Captain? I hope you find your sister soon.
He went quiet.
Trust doesn't come easy, So Woonhwi.
He admitted.
But if you're telling the truth, I'll treat you as my benefactor for life. You're as generous as they say.
I said, recalling why I'd trusted him. Then something in my hand caught my eye.
Tell you this is.
He pressed a plaque into my hand, testing me.
Did your grandfather mention my bounty? Would you believe me if I said yes?
I answered.
You never said his name.
He said.
Yet the moment I pushed, you spilled everything, clever or stupid, unclear.
Everything in me locked.
You got me.
I admitted.
Whatever you're planning, I don't know.
He said.
But I'll trust you this once, So Woonhwi.
Jaywabik let out a breath beside me.
Phew, that's a relief.
He said.
You look done for the moment you got thrown clear.
Yahoo, I said.
Got lucky.
Across the yard, Sambu kept watching me, replaying my last block with his eyes closed like it still didn't add up.
Someone's helping him.
He muttered. Then he shook his head.
Strangely, I don't dislike him.
The caravan guard barked out over the yard.
Move quickly, line up according to your rank plaques. Those with the middle rank plaque come with me.
A ripple of confusion went through the line. Then I heard someone behind me completely lose it.
Impossible, I can't believe this.
The cadet shouted.
How did you get the middle rank plaque? Don't you dare mess with me, you bastard.
He kept jabbing a finger at me.
How does someone like you end up holding a middle rank plaque like mine?
He snapped.
Did the blood cult hand you special treatment? Just wait, I'll beat you next time.
Jaywabik leaned in instead, low and serious.
So Woonhwi, you walked away fine from him.
He said.
But watch yourself around Captain O. Something about that man still feels wrong.
Someone snickered nearby.
You gave it to him good like your fart.
Jaywabik said, grinning.
Stop with the fart already,
came my answer. He sobered fast.
But Woonhwi, what's the plan?
First, I said.
This energy core needs an opening. Your energy core, you said that couldn't be fixed. I've got my ways. Ever heard of the all-healing divine physician? Cures anything for a price.
The sword spirit's voice cut in.
You ungrateful bastard, selling me off for a healing fee. And no,
I said.
What are you talking about?
Everything I had was gone, spent at the inn, and men like that don't heal for free.
I'll find a herb instead.
I told her.
10 years from now, the physician asks for one root, and I know which.
She went quiet.
You planned this out.
A shout ripped through the camp.
Wait a minute, brat.
I turned to find guards sprawled across the ground. Captain O shoved through the crowd, glaring at the wreckage.
What happened here? Who did this?
A stranger none of us knew stood over the bodies.
HMPH, these bastards are all useless.
He said. Captain O's eyes narrowed.
You there, who the hell are you?
Then roughly.
Everyone get behind me.
He didn't even brace. One strike and Captain O went down like a puppet with the strings cut. Someone choked out.
Did he just defeat Captain O in one strike?
The sword spirit sounded flat.
That's ridiculous.
It was. Captain O wasn't the strongest fighter I'd ever seen, but he wasn't nothing either, and I'd never once heard of a martial artist like this one back in my last life. The pressure alone told me everything. Whoever this was, he wasn't normal.
Did he kill the captain?
A scout gasped.
He's not dead, idiot, just knocked out.
Another snapped. All he'd done was clap his hands, and the wind off it alone leveled grown men, no blade, no fist. I heard him roar, then his voice dropped, bored.
HMPH, screaming at just this level. Are these bastards all trash too? Woonhwi, can you hear me?
The sword spirit's voice cut through the fog in my skull. Then heat flared in my chest, sudden and wrong. I hauled myself upright anyway.
Damn it, bring it on.
Sangbu threw himself in front of me first.
Try it, I'm not letting you touch my little brother.
Jawabik's voice cracked out behind me.
Woonhwi. Kyukuku, you pass.
Action said, and I froze.
I pass.
Before it registered, the ground erupted, and Sangbu dropped in front of me.
B brother, Woonhwi, can you move?
The sword spirit asked.
Yeah, but if I stay here any longer, I don't know what'll become of me.
Then Action's eyes shifted.
There's another one. He saw you, run.
I ran, my legs numb, until a sharp kick's echo froze me in the dark. Then quiet, too quiet. That's when I spotted them. Commander Gu Sangwoong marching in with soldiers, calling out for the captain.
Captain O. Ho.
He found him collapsed, cadets scattered and bloodied around him.
What on earth happened here?
Someone stammered.
An outsider attacked us.
Hiding out of sight, I caught every word.
I'm ashamed to admit it, but he took me out in one hit.
Captain O said.
Scruffy hair, huge frame, tiger skin for a top. Do you know Elderbeck Action?
Gu Sangwoong asked.
Did you say Action? He's been near the Six Blood Valley recently. He's one of the 4 Supremes.
The monster who crushed Sangbu finally had a name. I came to and found him standing over me, my mother's short sword in his hand.
Kyukuku, how unexpected.
Action said, turning the blade over.
Were you looking for this, to think a new cadet would carry a sword like this, worn out and all?
His eyes narrowed.
Some brat with a destroyed core surviving my strike, and you're the first to wake up.
Things were about to get interesting. Still pressed into the rocks, I watched more of them arrive.
My apologies, Commander. This is all because of my negligence.
Captain O said.
The Supreme Elder isn't someone you can do anything about.
Sangwoong answered, one scout muttered.
He killed those guys. Intermediate cadets aren't easy to replace. I'm not sure about So Woonhwi, but the twins could be advanced rank.
I followed as they climbed toward the cave.
Captain O, be mindful of how you talk to the Supreme Elder.
Sangwoong warned.
Even among the 4 Supremes, he's the hardest to deal with.
At the cave mouth, he called out.
All submit to the Blood Demon, may blood rule the world. Commander Gu Sangwoong here for the 6 Blood Valleys cadets.
Only silence answered.
Shouldn't we go in? Just wait.
A wave of force slammed into Sangwoong before he could brace.
Okay, Said.
He gasped.
I guess you're pretty decent for a commander.
He said.
I don't deserve that. I'm an insect next to someone like you, Supreme Elder. HMPH, obviously.
Action's eyes cut to the children.
So, is this really about these kids? That's right, we mean to raise them as our cult's warriors.
I stayed hidden and listened as Beck Action turned on Captain O.
Are you afraid I'd hurt these kids?
He asked, and O nearly choked on his answer.
Then not at all.
Action laughed it off, said he might teach a few of us some tricks while we were around, then made it clear he wasn't taking anyone as a disciple. He was only killing his loneliness, not handing down a legacy. One officer dropped to his knees, begging forgiveness, while the others muttered about what it meant to train under one of the 4 Supremes. Then Captain O shoved past them all.
So Woonhwi has a destroyed energy core.
He shouted at Beck Action.
He's not worthy of receiving your teaching.
Someone barked his name in shock, but O didn't stop. Beck Action didn't argue, he just put O in the dirt.
Why are you giving your opinion when I've already decided to teach him?
He snarled.
Get lost.
The officers backed off, muttering their understanding, but I caught O's face as he left. He'd wanted me turned into a Murim Alliance puppet, not trained, and that plan just died. Once they left, I worked it through. The man who trained the black-white twin demons in my last life was one of the 4 Supremes, Beck Action. Fine, but why bring me up here too?
I've gotten hungry from all that talking.
he said, not even looking at me.
You get me food 4 hours.
I just stared. Did he seriously just order a prisoner to run his errands?
Don't even think about running.
Action warned.
Or be ready for the worst when I catch you.
Cold sweat, but I was already plotting, play along, wait for an opening, then bolt. Out loud I said,
Yes, sir, I don't know any martial arts. Hard to get food unarmed.
His eyes dropped to the short sword in my hand.
That's my mother's keepsake, and also.
He snatched it from my grip.
Cuckoo, tricky one, aren't you? I don't need a lousy short sword like that.
Action said, tossing it back. I barely got out a thank you before the sword spirit exploded in my head, ranting about the filthy barbarian who'd used her blade to pick his teeth. Then Action turned on the sleeping twins and kicked them awake mid-snore.
How long are you two going to sleep?
He roared while somebody muttered they'd die at this rate.
Oh, I almost forgot. I want meat.
Action added like it was nothing.
Cuckoo, be sure to bring back.
Before he even finished, a blade of pure energy slammed into me and launched me clean off the mountain. Wind tore at my face as I tumbled through open sky, stomach in my throat.
Where the hell am I?
I screamed into the fall with absolutely no idea which direction was down. 4 hours to find meat, and I'd need every one of them just to climb down from wherever he'd dropped me.
Where would I find meat out here?
I muttered, then the sword spirit cut in.
Woonhwi, look over there.
I turned and watched Action clear an entire mountain range in one leap, tiger pelts streaming behind him.
How exactly?
She asked.
Do you plan on running from someone like him?
Ugh, I admitted.
I've lost the motivation to try. Pull yourself together, So Woonhwi.
Action's voice needled me while I clung to the cliff.
Give up now and you'll rot as that old man's slave.
So I let go and climbed instead of waiting to die there. The rock ran out anyway, branches ripped past me, and the ground slammed up to meet me. Somehow I was still breathing. Second life, and this was still the hard way. Action was waiting when I hit the ground.
At least you came down quick, didn't you?
He laughed, promising to break something in me if I kept stalling. 4 hours later, I still hadn't caught a thing, and he came back furious.
You're prepared to die, right?
He growled, only I heard her voice answer instead.
I've missed you, sir.
Action scowled.
What nonsense are you muttering now?
2 months of this, and I could finally put an arrow through a rabbit at a run.
That's a bullseye, you're getting good at this.
The sword spirit said, watching me work the bow.
I've had 2 months of practice.
I told her at first I kept climbing down that cliff trying to escape, and it nearly killed me.
You should have quit a dozen times since.
She said.
You never did. Hope you make it back in one piece.
I told myself and went after one more catch before heading in. At the cave, a young disciple flinched.
As Supreme Elder, you're here early. About to leave.
Action said, turning to me.
Did you catch anything? I'm starving.
He counted my rabbits.
1, 2, just 2, there's 4 of us.
He rubbed his jaw.
Guess we cut a few mouths. Pardon.
Not my day, I muttered, upside down and falling again, with no real idea what Action actually wanted from me. 2 months I'd lived like this. Every day I climbed down some cliff face, combed the forest for anything with a pulse. Find food I got to eat, come back empty-handed, and the beating just got worse. By then, missing a beating meant getting tied to a tree instead.
Sick of hanging, so now you swing everywhere?
The sword spirit asked.
I'm used to both the beating and the rope.
I told her. 2 trainees cornered me.
We're getting hit because of you.
One snapped.
And Jinbeek's worse off than any of us. You get hit anyway.
I said. Action summoned me early.
Take off your shirt. My shirt?
I asked.
Yeah.
Action said, looking me over.
Been almost 2 months, hasn't it? Looks like you're ready.
He grunted at what the cliffs, the hunting, and the rope had done to my body.
You'll fetch food starting tomorrow.
He said. Someone started to protest, and Action cut him off cold.
Do what I say and stop the goddamn talking.
Yes, sir, I said. Someone said I was losing hair. Honestly, I'd stopped caring about much by then. The ground dropped from under me again, and Action hauled me through a ravine before I could even get out.
Supreme Elder, can't we walk?
I asked.
You sound cocky,
he said.
I'm dragging you through this shortcut because you can't use Kingong, the trick of running light as air.
Then the water took me. Action dragged me straight through a roaring waterfall, and I was still screaming when he dropped the reason on me like it was nothing at all.
We're on the way to meet the person who will become your master, and I can't present you to him looking this pathetic.
Master. He just laughed, hauled me out anyway, and the sword spirit couldn't resist a jab about my beggar smell. We reached a hidden clearing tucked behind the waterfall itself, the kind of place nobody would ever stumble into by accident, half swallowed by mist and roaring water.
Someone who doesn't want to be bothered by others, I'd bet. That person could be a very powerful, good-looking martial master. Come on, I doubt it.
Action stopped walking.
This is it. Pay your respects, this is your master now.
Action said, so I dropped into the cult bow and rattled off my name and rank, swearing myself to a master I'd never seen, while Action stood watching with that unreadable grin. The sword spirit went flat.
That person can't accept greetings, he died a long time ago.
A skeleton.
Are you messing with me?
Action grinned.
Haven't you noticed that yet?
Action laid it out, every cliff I'd climbed, every beating he'd handed me, even hanging off that tree by my fingers, all of it was building the raw physical base for real martial arts. I finally admitted what scared me.
Supreme Elder, I lost my energy core to an energy deviation when I was young.
He just laughed.
Do you think I trained you without knowing about your condition?
Action leaned in, arms crossed, and asked the one question that undid every assumption I'd built about martial arts, energy cores, and everything I thought I understood about my own ruined body.
What would you do if I told you there's a way to control internal energy without an energy core?
Everything in me froze.
A way to control internal energy without an energy core.
None of it made sense.
Do you know what an essence is?
He asked, I didn't.
Every martial art needs one. Essence is just another name for the energy core, built by training your internal energy until it settles there for good. Since yours is destroyed, you can't use it. But two things survive any ruined core, energy itself and the body. Do you know what energy is? Are you talking about origin energy?
Turns out I hadn't learned the real name for it. What sits at the center of my chest isn't the trainable kind, it's innate core energy, something you're born with, something that can't be built through practice.
You're lucky,
Action said.
What's written back there teaches you to control exactly that.
The sword spirit practically lit up.
You hit the jackpot.
But I couldn't make myself smile. Only a fool passes up power like this, even knowing it might shorten my life by leaning on nothing but my own innate energy for the rest of it.
Fine, I'll do this.
Head down, I bowed.
Supreme Elder, thank you for teaching me this.
That old clan had already called me talentless. Action snorted.
Do you think I can't spot talent when I trained in a proper clan myself?
Action shoved me in front of that rotted skeleton and laid out my choice.
Do you want your neck snapped here and die, or do you want to learn this and die slowly? Woonhwi, just tell him you'll learn it.
I ignored her and looked him dead in the eye instead.
Please kill me then.
Even he wasn't ready for that.
What, are you crazy?
He laughed off my fear, then spelled out how little my life was worth to anyone else.
Do you think anyone would blame me for killing a third-rate cripple like you? Are you not going to kill me? I need to know when to gamble with my life sometimes. I've already got a parasite eating me alive. I'd rather die now than get used up and thrown away. Blood parasite.
He just laughed. He'd already caught the bluff.
I can't believe you're still lying to me. Guess you're not brainless after all. I checked your body's condition the moment I decided to bring you along. Play it straight and I'll treat you right. If you knew, why haven't you done anything about the parasite? I don't care about some blood parasite, something else matters more.
So that's how it was. Walking back, I kept turning it over. He wanted something from me, and it tied to this training.
I'll make you an offer you'll like. I'll look the other way on the blood parasite. How's that? After you've learned this, just fight the twins I'm training. What? Damn old geezer, if he'd said that first, this would have gone easier. It's interesting, isn't it? I see, but why? I've cut you some slack, don't ask unnecessary questions. Start by feeling out your innate core energy. Come find me once you can. Try any tricks and it won't end with just broken legs. Call it instinct, but I think that old man likes you. Don't read into it, I just need to study this martial art before I learn it. You don't intend to use it. I'll use it if I have to. What matters more is whether I can actually learn this.
If reading the instructions were enough, nobody would need a real master. I climbed higher to study it alone, and the deeper I read, the less it made sense. This wasn't scrap, it was a secret every martial artist alive would kill for.
Impossible.
If I master this, my core energy stops draining for good. No more countdown on my own life. Don't celebrate yet. What if you haven't even finished reading it? I read on, past protecting the core, past locating the origin energy to the part that mattered. It wasn't there. The last part's missing. This stupid skeleton, why'd he die before finishing it? Something Action had said earlier made sense. No more secret clock draining my own life away. That's not just a power-up. That's the actual stakes of this whole art getting solved in one line. I break down a new broken system like this every day, so stick around if you want to see exactly how it pays off. His threat came back to me, word for word.
That bastard, he knew this wasn't complete.
He'd handed me a broken key and dared me to use it anyway.
Hey rascal, why so touchy? How would I know that?
She wasn't talking to me. She meant the iron sword, angry that I'd called it a skeleton.
You mean this sword, not the skeleton. Why don't you talk to it yourself?
The skeleton beside me still gripped a rusted sword, and somehow I could hear it talking.
Are you talking to this iron sword like it's a person?
I asked. The sword spirit tilted her head.
The sword and I don't talk like people do.
She said.
You're the one who can actually hear a sword's voice.
I touched the hilt.
I haven't felt a human's touch in a long time.
It said.
You're Woonhwi, right? You can really hear my voice.
The sword said.
I'm the Southern Heaven Iron Sword. My master gave me that name before he died. No Jongdi, the Southern Heaven Swordsman.
The name landed like a gut punch. This man once carved his name across a whole province with one blade.
How does someone like that end up dead on some nameless mountain?
I asked.
Did that crazy bastard Action do this?
I asked.
No, someone else.
The sword said.
Action never beat my master, not once.
Something else out there had killed a man that even Action couldn't touch.
Later,
the sword said.
You've got something more urgent right now.
The sword spirit cut in.
You need this technique to fight Action's twins. I know,
I said.
Then I'll teach you.
The iron sword said.
Wait, is it okay for you to agree so fast?
The sword spirit asked.
This is about my master's honor.
The iron sword said.
If you lose because you never learned his art properly, his name gets dragged through the mud. I want his skill passed down. That's all I want.
Not bad, I thought. Then it kept going.
Touch my sheath every day, and my blade too. You're insufferable.
I snapped.
Your whole sword thing is just weird. Fine, I'll be your master.
I said.
But if you flare your nostrils like some pervert, or throw out weird demands, I'm done, technique or not. Ahem, what a pity.
The sword sighed.
Fine, agreed. What people usually call the energy core sits low in the belly. That's not where your innate core energy lives. You need to feel it here in your chest. My old master called it the middle energy core. The spot at the middle of your forehead is the upper energy core.
The sword said.
Tied to mind enlightenment.
Right now I just needed to feel the raw energy of life itself in my chest.
How?
I asked.
Your 5 senses work faster than imagining it.
The sword said.
That energy shows up clearest when your life's on the line. You'll feel strength you shouldn't have, heat surging through your chest. That's the innate core energy.
Wait, this wasn't just brutal conditioning. Action had been trying to drag that same feeling out of me through pain the whole time. He hadn't gone easy on Action's twins either. One of them came out bald.
That freak's an enigma.
I muttered.
You felt the innate core energy before, haven't you?
The sword spirit asked.
Yeah, I think I have.
I said.
Then remember it.
She said.
The moment your will to live was strongest.
I went quiet. The memory hit hard, blood in the snow, someone screaming for me to save them while blades clashed all around.
I will survive it.
I remembered thinking. Back in the present, light flared in my chest.
Is this the innate core energy?
This lump of heat felt strangely familiar.
Didn't you say something like that before?
The sword spirit asked.
When the blood parasite burst, didn't your chest feel hot too? Oh, right,
I said.
that's right.
My sword spirit had me hunt for my innate core energy inside my middle core. She said it should feel no bigger than a fingernail.
Wait, I said, this feels more like 2 fingers.
She went quiet, then admitted that wasn't supposed to be possible.
Push it through your forearm meridian and hit that pillar, she said. Let's find out.
I did. The pillar split down the middle. The iron sword brushed off the wrist to my hand.
Easy for you to say, I muttered. It's not your fist.
I stopped arguing and swung as hard as I could. The stone cracked loose.
I've never seen this before, the iron sword said. Even my old master's innate core energy wasn't this strong.
Feed that into the right technique, it said, and I'd be swinging something new. In that blur, it felt like 10 years of life and death crammed into one heartbeat, and I wondered if I'd actually reincarnated. Something about my own hand looked unfamiliar when I looked down at it.
I'm not dreaming, right? I asked myself. This is way better than I imagined.
The sword in my grip hummed with strength I hadn't felt before.
Is this really the strength that I have? I wondered.
Action caught me climbing back down the cliff and hauled me up by the collar.
Useless fool, he snarled, trying to escape. It's a misunderstanding, sir, I said. I've got no lift technique. I'd have made it back on time if I'd moved half an inch faster. Then you should have moved faster, shouldn't you? He said. So do you feel your innate core energy? Why won't you answer me?
I hesitated too long.
About that, I said. You felt nothing at all, Action pressed. Not something you feel in a day, I guess, cuckoo. Why lie to him, my sword spirit asked.
Showing the alliance or the cult my full hand was how I ended up dead. It also proved the iron sword right.
I was almost deceived by you, cuckoo, he muttered.
Action had caught me hoarding my core energy instead of spending it.
Cuckoo, trying to stretch your own lifespan, are you? Lose this fight and I'm handing you to Captain O. Captain O, I said. Yeah, the twins say he still wants you back. Say one word about that blood parasite and you're his for good. How is that different from what you promised me? I said. Feeling motivated yet, he said, after all that dodging, cuckoo.
I stayed silent.
Fine, I've got something prepared for you too. You said you'd kill me if I lost, I said. What's my reward if I win? Cuckoo, gutsy as ever, win and I'll grant you one request, study these first.
He handed me 2 manuals. My sword spirit clocked the first, a clean way to learn any martial art. Action said the twins fight fair, so this match would too.
Luminous Star Sword Technique, I read.
My sword spirit froze. That was the skeleton's own technique, the one my master used.
Wait, I said, this is the Southern Heaven Swordsman's secret manual.
Action couldn't have it unless he'd taken it off that corpse himself.
What's with the sour face? Action said, not happy. I've got a question, I said. Sir, why do you have this manual?
I stared at the stolen manual while the sword spirit filled in what Action never admitted. He hadn't been given the luminous star sword technique. He'd stolen it from his dying master to win a fight of his own.
He'll show me the whole thing once tomorrow's rations drop,
I said, which meant he'd already memorized every move in it.
Cheap bastard,
I muttered. Handing him an excuse wasn't the plan, but somehow this fight had gotten personal for him.
He's a strange bastard,
I thought,
though he's never exactly been normal.
The iron sword explained why. My previous master in Action had fought countless times and never once settled who was stronger. Now that my master was dead, I was the only one left to prove it against. The iron sword spoke up before I could spiral.
Woonhwi, you need not worry. The luminous star sword technique he stole is the version my former master hadn't improved yet.
After the manual was gone, no Zhongdi had kept refining it in secret.
The old moves and the new moves are exactly the same.
It said,
only the flow of each one was enhanced. That's how it was improved.
The improved version moved sharper than the manual ever did.
Blessing in disguise.
I thought Action's theft was the reason my old master bothered refining it at all. The sword spirit turned serious.
That old man will know something's wrong if you use it. If I lose, I'm handed off. If I win, I get questioned. So what's the plan? I've got my ways.
The mountain road stretched out empty while I turned my plan over.
No one falls for the same trick twice.
I thought,
So I'll need something new.
then laughter drifted up the path. Captain O was waiting with a stranger beside him.
So Woonhwi, I'll get you this time.
He said, sure he'd found my replacement.
Dantian,
He told the stranger.
show him what an advanced rank warrior can do.
Afterward, I found out exactly what O told him on the way over.
Kill him.
Was the whole order. Dantian cracked his knuckles like he'd been waiting all day for it.
Yes, sir.
No hesitation, no questions. That was the man walking toward me.
Long time no see, so clans So Woonhwi.
Captain O called out and I bowed low.
Intermediate rank cadet So Woonhwi pays his respects, Captain.
At ease, he said.
Seems you're doing fine as the elder's slave.
Then his hand, wrapped in dark energy, closed on my arm.
Seems you're just here to hand off rations.
He said,
So hand them to me.
this bastard was channeling energy into me.
There's something special about you.
Dantian said.
Even channeling energy through your body, I can't detect your innate core energy.
Captain O cut in. From now on, Dantian would serve action in my place.
No one's ever seen your grandfather in Yulin County.
He added,
Yet you convinced the Blood Wolf Squad's captain. The Supreme Elder won't be satisfied with just an advanced rank cadet. What did you say?
Captain O could barely hide his sneer.
This arrogant bastard is about to learn a lesson, and I'll score some credit with the Supreme Elder while I'm at it. Dantian, deal with him. I'll answer for it.
Dantian didn't hesitate.
As you command.
He came in fast and confident, like the fight was already decided. It wasn't. His stance was textbook right blood fist. Still, he moved slow to me. I'd only hit second star in the luminous star sword technique, but I wasn't scared of him. Then a voice cracked over both of us.
How dare you try to kill my slave?
Dantian folded on the spot.
Yes, sir, I pay my respects.
Someone else wasn't as lucky. I heard him choke on his blood. The bloodied face belonged to Captain O. Action towered over him.
You're just a captain, and you dare cause trouble at my door.
Captain O could only stammer.
Sir, that's not it.
I stood there thinking he dropped a first-rate martial master in one move. That was what real strength looked like. Later, walking off with Jay Wabik, we both froze. Jay Wabik said,
Hold up, isn't that Captain O?
Only a few days had passed, but our bodies had already changed. The training was that brutal. Some cadet found a corpse in the yard and flinched hard. Captain O still wouldn't let it go.
The origins of that bastard are unknown. Let me look into him.
The elder cut him off.
Not interested.
He dropped Captain O before he finished the sentence.
I told you once already, why bring someone else into it? When I was kidnapped,
I admitted.
I killed 2 of Captain O's men.
The cadets nearby went stiff. Action laughed.
Idiots getting killed by someone with no internal energy. It's natural for the weak to die. That's how it goes.
Then he waved it off, tossed the body off the cliff, bury it, done. Jay Wabik muttered to me.
You've landed in a real mess. Once that kind latches on, it doesn't let go.
Action smiled without showing teeth.
An opportunity like this won't come twice.
Then he turned to Jay Wabik.
Let's go down together.
Jay Wabik grinned.
I don't mind, but can you keep up?
I ran the cliff after them and instantly regretted it. Jay Wabik was already laughing.
Damn, you're so slow, So Woonhwi. Teach me some Kingong too.
I shot back. If a descendant of the Southern Heaven style could run like that, I wanted it too.
Hey, Southern Heaven,
I said.
Teach me your master's Kingong. Of course,
The sword answered.
but running a cliff like that only works with Beck Action's own technique. Even my old master was impressed by it.
I nearly ate rock, proving the point. He's strong, I thought, plain and clear. Either way, I needed to move faster. Jay Wabik, I wondered, did you actually catch what the Supreme Elder meant? By the time we reached the bottom, one of Captain O's men already had him pinned.
I'll just finish him here.
Jay Wabik stepped in.
What do you think you're doing?
The man brightened, mistaking him for backup.
That crazy old man talks in circles. I needed to vent. This works out. I'll break his legs. That'll retire him for good.
Jawabik's blade was already out.
You think breaking his legs satisfies that old man?
The other cadets weren't happy Jawabik had spared Captain O's man, muttering that he clearly wanted it done for him. The disposal cadet shoved forward anyway.
Get lost. If you can't do it, I will.
Then someone came running with worse news, and I couldn't stop myself.
What did you fucking bastards say?
Damn it, Captain O was awake. Captain O's laugh hit first, low and ugly.
Cuckoo, so this is how you're playing this, huh?
Blood streaked his face, but the fury underneath was worse than the blood. He just found out I could fight, and now he knew exactly who to blame.
I'll make you regret missing your chance to kill us, So Woonhwi.
I moved through the trees before he could reset.
What are you intending to do with that sword?
The sword spirit asked. Captain O had no idea I could actually fight. One clean strike while his guard was down, that was the plan. He caught the blade and sneered.
Do you think someone with no internal energy could slash me?
Then it connected.
How are you able to do that?
I landed the hit. O staggered back with a raw grunt of pain. The sword spirit gave a small nod.
Impressive for your first time using it, but don't let your guard down, Woonhwi. Your opponent is a first-rate martial master. This is where the real fight starts.
O stared at his own hands, baffled.
I checked. He had no internal energy, so how?
The wound answered for me. Sword raised, I pressed the attack, and O scrambled just to survive it. His own thoughts betrayed him next.
Damn it, I'm losing ground to a kid like him. How does he have this much power with no energy core?
The decision hardened on his face.
He's dangerous. I need to kill him now. So Woonhwi you.
He growled.
I'll definitely kill you. What?
O's face said the rest, another exchange gone wrong for him. Off in the trees, someone muttered what everyone there was thinking. When did Captain O even wake up, and how was I holding my own against him? A hit landed, and the fight spilled toward the cliff edge. The sword spirit's voice cut through it.
Woonhwi, are you all right?
I was, barely.
Lucky, no internal injuries.
O muttered something about what real mastery felt like, blood on his jaw. The sword spirit called it, a level above anything I'd fought, but I'd landed one clean hit, so he wasn't at full strength. Drag it out, and the edge was mine. Then Jawabik crashed in.
Get away, So Woonhwi. Now watch what I can do.
O barely glanced at him.
You're in the way. Wait your turn.
O didn't even glance at him.
You don't need to rush to your death. I'll kill you right after I kill So Woonhwi.
The fist landed, and Jawabik took it square.
Cug bastard.
That took nerve, O sneered.
Compared to the Supreme Elder's fist, this punch is way too soft.
Jawabik didn't back down.
Brace yourself. I'm paying you back for the selection test.
O's sneer cracked.
What?
Green energy flared off Captain O's fist as he lunged at me again.
Persistent bastard, I'll kill you first.
Off to the side, Jawabik flinched.
Shit, and that fool.
Blood ran down my arm. Stopping that attack head-on wasn't an option, so I let it go. The plan was simple: slip past Jawabik, dodge the hit, and wait for the gap to land my own. The blade came down, and I thought that strike would be fatal. It wasn't.
Cuckoo, with this, I've sealed your sword arm.
O sneered through blood.
I'll crush that arm, So Woonhwi.
Then Jawabik's voice cut through.
So Woonhwi, now's your turn.
The 8 lightning short sword technique doesn't care which hand holds the blade, and that's exactly why it was still mine to use. With this, I could definitely finish it. He blocked that one too.
Cuckoo, how unfortunate, So Woonhwi.
He still had that much energy left. That technique, even at 2 stars, wasn't enough to put him down yet, and his blood energy was tearing me apart inside.
It seems you're out of tricks now.
Then Jawabik's voice cut through.
Grab the short sword, So Woonhwi.
Right behind it, another voice, sharper.
Let that go, stop.
It was over. O went down coughing blood. Jawabik's kick had landed just in time, or I might not have walked away. This was my first kill, and it didn't feel like winning. You owe me your life, Jawabik said. A stranger walked up next. I heard you're fighting me later, he said. Unfortunate for you, I'm winning that fight. Only then do I become that crazy old man's disciple. That's the payoff for every cliff climb and every beating I took off Action. The training stopped being theory and started being a corpse on the ground. I go through a fight like that every single day, so if you want the next one, that's what subscribing gets you.
You really think you'd land a scratch on me?
The challenger asked.
Let's make it a bet then. Loser becomes the winner's subordinate.
I'm confident about myself, I said.
What about you?
He smiled and headed up the mountain first. On Kingong, I hadn't learned yet.
I'll see you later.
Somewhere ahead, a voice mused it'd be tempting to serve the future black-white twin demons.
Southern heaven.
The sword spirit called.
Yeah, you called.
Came the answer.
You said Beck Action's Kingong beats the luminous star sword techniques, right?
Southern heaven asked.
Yeah, I did say that. When it comes to Kingong, Beck Action's simply better.
I said. I see. Something in me settled, fist closing at my side.
Should I go with that, then? My wish,
she said. While I climbed, the challenger reached Action first.
Sir, I finished what you asked,
he said.
Good.
Action grunted, eyeing his fresh wounds.
You came back alone. Who did the killing?
I did, the challenger said. Action smirked.
Seems you landed the critical blow.
But something in his face said he didn't quite buy it.
So Woonhwi must be in a mess right now,
he muttered.
Gyukoko. Sir, I've taken care of Captain O, just as you asked,
I said, walking in. The challenger's face went white.
What? Sir, this is a misunderstanding. I actually fought him.
He stammered.
Shut up,
I said. The Southern Heaven Iron Sword skeleton flashed through my mind. Its master had suffered plenty too. Action waved him off.
Get lost. Yes, sir, but I'd like to talk about the man I mentioned earlier.
Action asked Jawabik straight out what he wanted if he won.
I've always admired how you handle these cliffs,
he said.
Teach me that.
Action laughed and promised it. My sword spirit muttered that his confidence surprised her. Then Action turned to me. Captain O was dead, but the terms held. Lose this fight and I could still die.
Train like it,
he said.
I'll bear that in mind, sir.
Action sent the other two up the mountain to keep training. That Kingong was mine now.
How did the luminous star sword technique feel, using it in a real fight?
My sword spirit asked.
I killed Captain O,
I said.
But my first strike landed early. That's instinct filling gaps you haven't mastered yet,
she said.
No Zhongdi would have finished him in one slash.
He's that strong. With Captain O gone, my sword spirit told me to just focus on training. 3 months until the fight. Watching how Jawabik moved today, he wouldn't be easy to beat. I asked why we still drilled basics.
If you can't do the 18 basic sword movements naturally, everything else is just a dance,
she said, but the Southern Heaven Iron Sword stayed quiet, wondering if I'd chosen wrong.
I guess I could feel upset,
the Southern Heaven Iron Sword admitted.
But Woonhwi isn't replacing my old master. Wanting more strength is natural for a martial artist.
Then the mountain blurred into steel and lightning as I trained, until Action dropped me flat.
You fool,
he snapped.
I already showed you the luminous star sword technique myself. Where's your head at? Guess I need to move faster,
I admitted. Jawabik bragged that he only needed to worry about beating me. Action caught him and knocked him flat.
Pathetic,
Action said.
Have you learned nothing from today's fight? Woonhwi trains alone with 2 basic manuals and walked away from Captain O without a single internal injury.
That's impossible, Jawabik said.
I saw him get hit a few times. You think I can't tell an internal injury when I see one? You fought beside him. You should know exactly what he's capable of,
Action told Jawabik.
Unless you're still underestimating him.
Damn it, Jawabik snapped, sick of being measured against me.
I'm going to win,
he swore.
Sir, show me that technique again.
Action smirked.
Still want it after getting beaten so many times. This training is nothing to me,
Jawabik shot back.
I'll show everyone I'm on a different level than Woonhwi.
I'll teach you that, Action said. My eyes lit up, sure he was finally taking me as his disciple.
I'll work myself to death, master. Who said anything about taking you as my disciple?
A cult officer stepped into the cave.
Destruction Blood Squad Commander Gu Sangwon, reporting to you, Supreme Elder.
He said,
I wanted to ask whether Captain O and a cadet came by today. I don't know who that is, Live.
Action said.
But sir, Captain O said he'd visit you today.
Gu Sengwon pressed. Action's temper flared.
Are you bothering me over some squad leader?
That was the end of it. Destruction Blood Squad never sent anyone to ask about Captain O or the missing cadet Doyun again. Alone on a frozen peak, I sat with my sword planted in the snow and began training. I drove the sword down through the ice again, and my sword spirit didn't hold back.
Still not good enough,
She said.
Your posture slips sometimes.
The Southern Heaven iron sword shot back.
Looks good enough to me.
Action barked at them both to quit bickering. Mastering this technique meant staying cold, not coddled. Then finally.
All right then.
3 months of solitary training were done. I slung my sword across my back and looked out over the peaks.
Shall we get going?
I said to no one and everyone. Only one destination made sense now, to the location of the fight. I turned to the sword on my back.
Southern Heaven, be honest, what level are my sword techniques at now? Half of what my old master could do.
It said,
but incredible growth for 3 months. You did well. Thanks to your guidance.
I said, my sword spirit cut in.
What about me? Oh, and you too.
She bristled.
Don't answer me so flatly, you brat.
The rival sneered before the spar.
Remember this,
he said.
Every fight you've won was carried by me. Do you think I don't know that?
I fired back. He shrugged it off, just a spar. After, doubt crept in.
I've only learned 3 techniques in 3 months.
I told my sword.
Not my old master's level.
It said.
But you've nearly perfected those 3. Focus beats spreading thin, be confident.
I reached the clearing to find him already waiting.
You're here early,
he said.
Kukuku, I'll give you credit for not running. Are you ready? We'll only know once I fight, won't we?
Behind us the group went quiet.
Guys, look at that.
One of them said.
Jawabik and Woonhwi, something about them feels different.
Someone joked that Action's training could turn anyone into a muscle-bound giant, pointing at exaggerated versions of Jawabik and me.
The twins look stronger, don't they?
A trainee said.
I don't think that's all.
I muttered, then Action laid out the rules.
Simple,
he said.
No surrender, fight until one side can't anymore. Doesn't matter if you die doing it. All right, who am I fighting? Of course, he said. Me.
I figured this wouldn't be a death match, then I saw his fist. Veins bulged, ink flared black.
What are you staring at?
He snapped.
I wouldn't mind fighting barehanded against a sacred sword. Elder Action used this technique when he was young.
Fair enough, I said.
Decent tool for padding your body. Guess you need the boost.
My sword spirit smirked.
He's trashing Action's martial arts. Yow,
he roared.
Here I go.
He roared, charging straight in. Simple, honestly, a swordsman's whole edge's range, and a brawler handed me that range the second he closed it. The instant he crossed into my reach, I answered with the first move from the luminous star sword technique, Tiger Force Sword. Steel screamed through the snow, and he never got the chance to throw a punch. My Tiger Force Sword opened him up, but the grin didn't crack. Wiping blood off his jaw, he said,
Seems he's been grinding hard for this, but that won't keep him breathing much longer.
Then his hand shot out and caught my blade bare.
Gotcha, Yang's own good for nothing.
He surged in laughing, daring me to remember the beatings, and the next hit put me flat in the snow. I'd bought barely a body's length of space and used every inch of it.
How could a swordsman fight so cheap using his legs?
He snarled. I'd kicked him mid-swing, and it worked. From the ropes, an onlooking trainee murmured that my output had jumped hard past 3 months ago.
Did he eat some kind of miracle pill?
Jinbeek shot back.
Shut up, I trained just as hard under Elder Action.
His hands wouldn't stop shaking. Then it hit me. 10 years from now, this man and his twin brother would become the black-white twin demons, 2 of the blood cult's most feared killers. The cult doesn't just hand out power like that. It invests in you, body and mind. I'd been treating him like a joke.
I was wrong.
I said. He grinned wider.
What, you were wrong, ready to surrender. I'll go all out now.
I went all out and he couldn't even track it.
What's happening right now?
He stammered, swinging at empty air.
I couldn't see anything at all.
Off to the side, Action's face had gone still, all trace of that lazy grin gone soft with something like approval.
It's still too early for you to be surprised.
I told him.
This is where it really starts.
For a second the whole clearing went quiet, just wind cutting through blood-spattered snow while both of us caught our breath. Whatever came next, we both knew the easy part of this fight was already over. While I bled over my own sword forms, Jay Wabik was getting broken down somewhere else.
Again.
Action barked, dropping him again.
For a fist to beat a sword, you close the gap before the strike even commits.
He said.
Ouch, I know that, sir.
Jay Wabik groaned, then Action admitted that last exchange had moved too fast to track.
No one taught him that.
He muttered.
He's just that strong.
Someone jeered.
Hey, Song Jay Wabik, why bother if you're just going to fold? Who says I'm folding? This is nothing to me.
Jay Wabik shot back. Jinbeek spat.
Damn you, So Woonhwi, a good-for-nothing has no business embarrassing anyone.
Jay Wabik had drilled Action's technique daily since, trained like hell, done holding back.
Bring it on, asshole,
he said, and barely a scratch got through. The sword spirit wondered if he'd gone half indestructible.
In that case,
the sword spirit said,
I guess Woonhwi can only follow the plan.
Back in my own fight, our swords locked, sparks and snow flying. Energy gathered along the blade, and I felt it crest.
Once the energy's gathered, I let it go.
I thought,
that's the luminous star sword technique.
I drove forward and unleashed Tiger Force sword all over again, harder this time. A few hits landed, but they barely fazed him. Go all out, and he'd already mapped every move I owned. He'd studied my footwork as hard as I studied his. Making him flinch wasn't happening, so I stopped chasing finesse and kept swinging. Tiger Force sword again meant to burst him wide open. Between each of his swings sat a gap just wide enough to close in, so I did, slowly. The chance to flip this fight arrived. I dropped into the luminous star sword technique's third form, void flow slash, a scatter of unpredictable strikes built to scramble how he read me. Instead of blocking each one, I pushed forward and stuck close. It worked. He tried pulling back for room, but nothing gave anything away. My other hand went down for balance, and I folded into the second technique. His stance broke, and I took the chance. I drove everything into the follow-through, and it landed, the finishing combo done. He still had breath to snarl.
What'll you do now, So Woonhwi? I know every weakness in that technique. It won't work on me twice.
From the sidelines, someone laughed.
Great job, rougher than planned, but it still worked. Don't worry about it.
A trainee called out.
Wounds like that heal fast with his core energy.
Easy for them to say I was the one feeling it. The fight did its job, though. Everyone watching now believed that Manuel's technique could be beaten. Use it unchanged again and I'd be an idiot, so I kept the improved version buried. Then he sneered.
Go ahead, attack me again.
I did.
What?
The void flow slash cut sharper this time, and it caught him clean. He staggered, stunned.
The moves, they changed. Bastard, what did you just do?
I changed them on the spot. I said.
Do you like it?
Rewriting a technique mid-swing right in front of him should have broken his composure. It rattled him, but only for a second. He was already hunting for the next gap to punish me through.
I'll close the distance right there. Now's the time.
I planted my back foot, stuck my left hand out for balance, and circled through the last gap between us.
This is.
His eyes locked on mine. For one heartbeat, he saw it coming. I caught his attack head-on and answered with the luminous star sword technique's second form, the hidden toad slash.
Ugh.
The hidden toad slash landed clean. So why did my hands take the damage like I'd punched a lump of solid iron? I looked past him and my stomach dropped.
Song Jay Wabik.
He wasn't even supposed to be here. The brawler's head snapped toward him too.
What's with that form of yours?
He asked, and I realized I wasn't the only one who'd noticed something had changed.
It's not over yet.
He dropped his guard entirely, which made no sense until the sword spirit spoke.
Woonhwi, that thing he's using, that's the golden blood body. Golden blood body.
Whatever it was, this fight was about to look nothing like the one I'd just survived.
Get away from him,
She shouted, then right on cue.
Hey, So Woonhwi, where are you looking?
I turned toward the voice instead.
Whoa.
He was fast, faster than his frame should have allowed, and that punch he just thrown wasn't even a real strike, just a warning. A true fist technique from him, and I wasn't dodging twice.
I need to end this now,
I told myself and closed the distance with everything I had.
Tiger Force sword again, that's useless.
The brawler laughed, already reading the strike before it landed. He drove in and I coughed blood on the impact. Incredible, I thought. He was getting stronger with every exchange, not weaker, and I felt it in my arms. I blocked it and it barely opened a window for a counter. I threw everything into the hidden toad slash, the luminous star sword technique's finishing burst, and it dropped him.
Damn it, I don't have enough time,
I muttered.
Whenever you think you're getting too close,
The sword spirit said.
you use the hidden toad slash, don't you?
In that case, I said.
How's this?
The brawler roared, closing in with everything he had left. A distraction, I figured, a desperate move to buy himself room. Then I realized he wasn't bluffing and he was coming in fast.
Song J Wabik.
I called out, breaking off to check on him.
Are you okay?
The brawler's face went slack with shock.
You're worried about me.
The brawler sneered.
Don't act like you're better than some nobody from Yulen County.
The sword spirit warned me this couldn't drag on much longer.
I know I can't last much longer either.
I said.
No,
She said.
I'm talking about Song J Wabik.
She'd seen a golden blood body fail before. This one was unraveling worse. If it blew, he stood close enough to die.
I know what you're getting at, but
I said, already moving. Tiger Force sword, void flow slash. None of it slowed him down at all. I could win this the easy way, just grind the fight out until he dropped. But grinding it out meant he might die. I needed to win and keep him breathing. He froze, stunned I was still coming.
this lunatic,
He muttered half a second later, and I'd have opened his chest instead of just marking it.
damn it,
I said.
what am I supposed to do?
Then it hit me. I remembered exactly how to end this without killing him. Everything came down to one exchange, my core energy driving straight into his.
That's insane.
Someone gasped nearby.
How does a swordsman get this close to someone who fights with fists?
Oh, I see. Another voice said.
He's forcing an energy battle, trying to make him drop the golden blood body. If he hadn't learned the luminous star sword technique,
She added.
that move would have been suicide.
The crowd saw what I felt in my own arms. I was getting shoved back, but he was the one burning out first. One onlooker muttered as much to the girl beside her, watching him grind his teeth like he wanted me dead. Determined, sure, but determination doesn't refill a tank. Drag this out, and the win was mine. He read my plan the instant I moved on it.
A fight with internal energy. How dare you plan such tricks with me as your opponent? Yeah, this is it, bring it on.
His golden blood body flared hotter, and our energy crashed together hard enough to flatten the ground between us. When the dust cleared, Jay Wabik was standing right over the wreckage, and somebody demanded to know why he jumped in. Back action shoved between us.
I saved you from depleting your innate core energy, and that's what you have to say to me. Since no one won yet, this match will be a draw.
A draw stung worse than the hits.
Why don't you use the sword techniques from the secret manual I gave you?
This topic came up, huh?
I'm not that foolish.
What did that mean? He wasn't guessing. He knew I could already use every sword technique in that secret manual he'd loaned me, and worse, he knew their exact weaknesses because he'd used them himself.
Do you think the original owner would have neglected improving the very techniques you know so well?
The question landed like a challenge. There was more hiding in that manual than I'd found.
Southern Heaven.
He screamed it and charged like the draw hadn't just saved him.
I would have won if we'd fought to the end.
Nobody could tell that from the state he was in. I'd had enough of pretending this was fair.
Do you really think this fight was fair? I only had half the cultivation technique. He knew every weakness in my sword work, and he drank elixirs on top of it.
And he fought me wearing a rare, precious gauntlet on top of all of it. I won anyway. I won a fight built for me to lose.
If you won't acknowledge my win, are you just asking me to die? Am I nothing but a chess piece to you? Cuckoo, you think he'd have matched me in a fair fight?
Then the laughing got worse. Action turned on him instead.
Who gave you permission to use that? I told you plainly you couldn't handle it. Aren't the pills you feed me every night elixirs? You call that an elixir? If I had that many to spare, I wouldn't waste them on you.
The real reason, their bodies burned energy faster than anyone's, perfect soil for the golden blood body. Left untrained, that same energy would turn poisonous before the technique was ever mastered. That was the cost nobody mentioned. Action turned my blade over in his hands.
An artisan sword, better than most people ever touch. Still, you were disadvantaged. This fight was rigged to go one way no matter what. You're both just chess pieces, but you dared trick me and nearly won. The fight is void. The deal is off.
Beck Action didn't ask twice.
I've decided to take you in as my disciple,
he said, calling me the rare kind of talent who learns 10 lessons from one.
I'm flattered,
I said, though the credit wasn't mine alone. The sword spirit beat me to it.
No, Woonhwi, that's your talent.
I still had one real question, though. Could I even learn his exclusive technique? He waved off my worry about his blood technique.
I won't teach you fist forms,
he said.
I'll help you finish your sword technique instead.
Then he asked if I knew whose blade I carried, and I froze.
Was that skeleton the Southern Heaven swordsman?
He was the last man alive who knew the full luminous star sword technique, and now he'd teach me the rest. The real hook came next.
I'm also thinking of fixing your broken energy core,
he said.
You can always flip the tables on him later.
My companion added, so I dropped to a formal bow.
Intermediate rank cadet So Woonhwi pays my respects to my master.
Wabik jumped in.
What about the two of us?
He groaned but caved.
Fine, I'll accept the two of you as my disciples.
Wabik bowed too, then dragged someone else through the ritual.
Intermediate rank cadet Song Wabik pays my respects to my master. Repeat after me.
The bald brawler repeated the whole thing, name included.
You baldy, that's not your name.
Action threw his head back and howled at the skeleton on the cliff.
Jongdi, do you see this? Your predecessor is my disciple now. This is practically my victory.
My companion turned on me, half serious.
Woonhwi, I take back what I said. If you're really becoming his disciple, I won't help you anymore.
Later, alone on the cliff with the skeleton, Action's voice dropped low.
Have you been well, Jongdi?
He asked the bones.
With this, I can finally get over you, except for one last thing.
He lined in.
Jongdi, talk to me. Who the hell killed you?
Action told me how it started. Jondi used to get challenge letters constantly, but one came different from all the rest of time, a place, and a single wilted flower tucked inside. That one made him nervous enough to go alone. The man waiting for him had one golden eye, and nobody since has ever learned his name. It ended in 40 moves. Jongdi, a man who'd once traded blows with the world's top 8 martial masters, went down just like that.
This is all I know about the man who drove my rival to his death.
Action admitted. I couldn't help it.
Something's strange here. Mind your words, Woonhwi.
He snapped.
He didn't lose because he was weak. It just meant the other man was that strong.
Something crossed my face and I caught myself.
It's just...
I started, then shook it off.
No, it's nothing. Let's just sleep.
I settled in with both swords across my lap.
Good night, you guys.
Silence then.
Do you think swords that sleep exist?
The sword spirit later admitted she'd only brought up Jongdi to cheer me up and hadn't expected it to go where it went. I kept turning it over. No, Jongdi's body turned up nowhere near where he died, and 40 moves wasn't enough to kill one of the top 8 martial masters. Then the Iron Sword's own words came back to me.
The man who drove my former master towards his death.
Drove him, not killed him. That meant he'd survived the fight and dragged himself here to recover before someone found him. I didn't know if it was the golden-eyed stranger circling back or someone who just watched the fight and seen his chance. I wanted a successor, I just had no luck with people. Steal his skills, silence him, and you're the only one left who knows the luminous star sword technique. His jaw, arms, and legs were all broken, every way he could talk, write, or run taken away. Only one reason to go that far. It wasn't that No Jongdi never finished writing down his cultivation technique. Maybe the killer erased it himself, so he'd be the only one who ever used it.
Even though I'm not his official disciple, I learned his martial arts and became his true successor.
If saying that out loud in front of his bones made the real killer furious he couldn't touch me either, I was fine with that. My sword spirit told me about this part later herself. She and the Iron Sword had their own quiet exchange, ghost to ghost.
Thanks for hearing me out. No need to thank me, who else would you tell? I'll steer her off the subject if that clueless girl asks about his death again.
I'd already sensed something was bothering her before she said a word. A sword and its wielder don't always need language for that. The white-haired girl who'd needled me for days finally snapped. Furious, I acted like I understood our master better than she did.
How dare you act like you know everything about him, when you only got here a few months after me? You need to be taught a lesson. It's time we settled the hierarchy here.
She hauled me up by the collar right as footsteps announced someone far scarier.
Supreme Elder, I mean Master, you're here. You fucking weaklings.
Turns out he wasn't angry about a fight. He was angry we'd slept through his first day as a master without a celebration.
You sleep the day away the day you became my disciples. I'm sorry he didn't even ask us to wait.
So he hauled out the wine himself, grinning like a kid, daring us to keep up.
I won't let any of you sleep until we've finished all of this.
We scrambled for the first cup like it was a fight worth winning. Snow fell heavier than the day before, and I found Jay Wabik outside already, wrapped in bandages and looking rough.
Are your injuries all right? Do I look all right to you?
His face was one giant bruise, courtesy of our master and a few too many cups.
Darn old geezer, he can't even circulate his energy right, and he still went crazy. You idiot, that wasn't the time to laugh. Is it that funny I got rejected by a woman?
I figured he was just laughing off a bad night. Jay Wabik wasn't done arguing hierarchy, insisting we were peers and that I owed him my life.
Who said you're my senior brother? We're equals here, and you owe me your life.
Since when? Ah, right, that bet. Loser became the winner's subordinate, and I'd won.
So how do you want to do this? Call me senior brother, bow to me as your lord, or fight again? Ugh, senior brother.
He forced the words out like they cost him a tooth, muttering he'd had the stronger energy anyway. I let him believe it. Action was already looming over me.
You're awake, huh, you lucky bastard, let's go.
Before I could answer, he grabbed my collar and hauled me into the sky, the ground dropping away in a blur.
What do you mean?
The whole ride over the peaks, I screamed.
I've learned Qigong too.
I tried.
Too slow, he said.
We were flying straight for the Six Blood Valley. Two physicians were mid-consultation when the wall exploded inward.
Is the all-healing divine physician here?
Action roared, dragging me by the hair through the wreckage.
Cure this guy for me.
I hung there battered and managed only.
Yes, please save me.
The room went dead silent around us. Someone screamed for it to stop and the hall froze. Then she stepped out, robed in crimson and gold.
It's been a while, cousin, said Hanbika, the blood cult's sixth blood star.
Her eyes slid to me.
However, who is that child next to you? I've never seen him before.
Action didn't answer her.
It's fine, instead I must see the divine physician, he said, ignoring the chanting disciples behind him.
Hanbika offered tea. Action brushed her off cold. The gruff, bare-chested brute was nothing like the sage I'd pictured for a divine physician.
Treat my disciple, Action said. His energy core is the problem. Do it and I'll give you my name tag.
The old man shook his head.
I will decline.
Action blinked.
What?
He already held tags from tyrants scarier than my master.
It's not life or death, the physician said. I've worse cases waiting, come back later.
The white-haired girl murmured.
Is that the important patient?
Action exploded, hoisting me by the collar.
Heal him or I'll kill him myself. Would you really let him die instead? She snapped back.
The old man just laughed.
Fine, for you, I'd even mend a cracked skull.
Crazy old geezer, I thought.
What a shame, I hear he's about to kill his own pupil, the physician said. If you're going to do it, take it outside. I'm busy.
Silent. Action's face twisted. He dared reject me. A guard stepped in, telling him to leave. Action rounded on him instead.
You'd block my path over this. Now I'm even more curious who that patient is.
Something in the room had shifted. I felt it. Her neck twitched, a message no one but her could hear. Action didn't explain.
You can wait outside, he said, then barked. Everyone except the blood-feud demons, get out.
We filed out, unsure who earned that order. Through the closing doors, Hanbika's voice went cold.
So what you said was all true.
A cloaked figure only warned her. She smiled.
Don't worry, there's only truth to my words.
Hungover, I wondered who this patient was.
No idea, even the cult leader couldn't find out, the white-haired girl said.
Then oddly,
guess it's your first time dealing with something like this. You talk like I already know the future, I said.
Her silence answered. He died in the future and regressed.
So when you said you came back from death, that wasn't a lie. Told you, I said.
My sword spirit snapped at whoever kept talking over us, and I mumbled an apology that made sense to no one else. We headed for the valley's food storage so I could get water, her grumbling the whole way about alcohol jars stinking up her seat. Inside, a girl was demolishing a jar of jerky, too lost in it to hear me walk in. Excuse me, I said. She nearly choked.
Well, wait,
she said.
You're the disciple of the Four Supremes Elder, right?
I admitted it.
Please forget what you just saw. I'm on a diet.
She said, jerky still on her chin.
Sure,
I said.
So that jerky was. I just couldn't hold back the hunger.
She snapped, red-faced, then pressed silver into my hand for my silence. Before I could ask why, someone bellowed across the yard.
You disciple.
Beck Action closed the gap in a blur and hauled me up by the arm.
You should have waited like a good boy in front of the main hall. I just wanted water,
I said.
So I went to the food storage.
Behind him, the girl went white, mouthing a threat at me.
The storage is right behind you,
he said.
Are you an idiot? I didn't eat a lot,
I blurted. Hanbika, the sixth blood star in Action's cousin, eyed us.
You two seem close. Not many elders take disciples.
A blood-feud demon locked eyes with me, and something cold and fizzy climbed my spine.
Don't look at her eyes.
Action snapped.
That was her poison,
he said.
Your body burned it off alone.
My innate core energy working for free, she backed off smirking.
How could I, with a supreme elder watching? Things have gotten complicated.
Action said we needed a herb called Clear Summer's Recovery, the same one the divine physician wanted, and whoever found it first earned his help on demand.
Thankfully,
I said.
I already know where it grows.
I muttered this would be easier without the girl involved.
Keep this a secret,
she said right behind me.
Tell anyone and I'll kill you.
I placed her then, the past patriarch's granddaughter. Red hair spilled into the dark behind her, and for one heartbeat I swore I saw a demon's crown burning over her head. The blood demon's bloodline still existed. That thought hit me harder than anything Action had said all day, because this was information I never had, not even the first time I lived through any of this. The blood demon. Generations ago, he rallied every rogue sect and demonic fighter alive into one cult, until the Orthodox world allied against him, and even the legendary Single Star broke neutrality to join the fight. They killed him, then hunted down every last relative to end it for good. Now I stood 3 feet from his kin. No wonder Action had begged the divine physician for this favor.
Yahoo!
Someone said, watching us.
He looked into my past life too, through his own disciple. This could make you the next leader,
I said.
Would that even be enough?
She asked.
If I don't take the seat, I answer to whoever does. So you're looking for it?
I asked.
Of course, good connections matter. I agree with Sodom.
Someone added.
Then why relax now? Someone could beat you to it. Can't search yet, she said. It's buried, took the physician 5 years to find blind. Once the sun's down and everyone's gone, that's when we look.
That night sky felt easy to move through, faster than I'd ever managed in my last life. Back then, I used to envy how easily everyone else got around.
Woonhwi, I know.
She thought everyone from the valley had already turned back, but someone was chasing her.
Can you tell who it is? Amazing, it's the fat woman we saw earlier. She's almost as fast as you.
How was that even possible? Even with all her training, I figured, a body built like that couldn't run forever. If we just stalled, we'd shake her off.
Let's drop the snow pile on her.
Jaywabik said. It hit, and while her eyes were blocked, he peeled off toward a tree to lose her for good. Then someone screamed.
Woonhwi above you.
She dropped out of the night sky straight at me. Pink energy wrapped around her knuckles, and I didn't even get my guard up.
Stop right there.
Her strike caught me square and threw me back into the snow.
Wait, why are you attacking me?
This woman was better than me, and I hated admitting it.
How strange. I heard you have a problem with your energy core, but you're using Kingong just fine.
Then she cut loose for real, and the strike nearly took my head off.
What the hell? What kind of technique is this?
Her whole body moved like a hawk riding the wind, no wasted motion anywhere. Red light traced the tips of her fingers, a blood-feud demon's technique, and the longer we traded blows, the worse my odds got.
There's no winning this one. I'll have to talk my way out instead.
She'd clocked that I pulled the last hit.
Why did you chase me? You scared me. Sorry, you were rushing off into the night, so I followed. Why does it matter where I'm going? Because you know where the herb is.
Playing dumb, I shot back.
Would I really be searching in the dark if I knew? I'm Ossian, a pupil of the 6th Blood Star. Take me with you. I'll give you every tablet the divine physician gave me.
She blurted.
Isn't that generous? Why hesitate?
Hold on. I cut in. She'd shown her whole hand at once, impatient as she'd been with that silver coin earlier, so I knew I could push for more.
Don't even think about running.
She warned.
I'm faster than you. Then add one more thing.
I said.
And call it trust. Trust what? Teach me that gliding movement, mister.
I said.
You know how rude that is to ask. I know if you don't want to, I'll get going. But you'll teach me.
She forced it out.
Fine, only use it on someone you've truly decided to kill.
Not friendship, I figured.
Good trade, shall we go?
The sword spirit murmured.
Combine that with your innate core energy, and it might kill you.
The sword spirit warned me. Bind Ossian's gliding technique to my origin energy, and I could burn through everything I had.
What should I do otherwise?
I said.
I don't have an energy core. This is my only way.
Ossian asked how I'd read her fast. Nobody had spotted her in 6 hours, and she never once looked back running. She laughed, called me too young to be formal. We found it, one violet bloom wedged in the rock, right where Ossian swore it'd be.
This is the herb,
I said, pulling it free. She sighed with relief.
So that's where it was. Let's take it and go.
The sword spirit said she looked happier than she'd admit. Ossian made me swear I'd stay quiet about tonight, then joked she'd just erase the memory for free.
Woonhwi jumped forward.
Ossian's shout was the only warning I got. Something dropped from above and struck before either of us saw it coming.
I didn't feel any presence.
I said, stunned. Ossian hadn't either, and she's sharper than me.
These people are strong.
I thought, and that scared me more than the hit itself. The one holding the herb laughed under her hood.
We made the right choice to follow you.
Then colder.
I've got the herb, take them down.
Swords came at me from every side.
Who are you people?
I shouted, blocking on instinct. A masked attacker sneered before striking.
A Supreme's disciple, excuse me.
Like that was an apology. It wasn't. It was just steel.
Oh, mister.
Ossian's voice cracked as she reached for me.
Mr. So Woonhwi.
I drove my blade through another attacker without stopping to check the damage. Ossian stared past me.
When did they get so far?
One masked attacker dropped face first into the snow. Done. The thief with the herb was already pulling away.
I'll be back soon.
She called.
Stop right there.
I roared. She was already gone. She dodged every hit better than I had. Still, she could have freed my pressure points before running off. Then the marks on my arms began fading themselves.
Your innate core energy is clearing them,
The sword spirit said.
I'm fine,
I told her.
This energy's got more perks than I knew.
Behind us, an elder blood-feud demon exploded.
That stupid pig, how could she abandon someone who helped her? Chase them or you'll lose the herb.
The elder shouted. Honestly, I wasn't sure I cared. Then a blood-feud demon healer looked at what got stolen and laughed.
That wasn't even a fully grown, clear summer's recovery.
The herb changes as it grows, the marbles inside shift color, and only a matured one glows 7 marbles green. What the thief grabbed had 5, still yellow, worthless. The real herb only blooms behind frozen rock, where moonlight never reaches. I couldn't see a thing.
I can see something here,
The sword spirit said, guiding me.
Found it, thanks.
7 marbles glowed green this time, only 2 blooms, but the real ones.
A sacred flower that blooms on winter nights.
I muttered, palms numb, before I touched it. Then her voice came again, oddly solid.
Ugh, cold, this would feel nice in summer.
The sword spirit drifted toward a broken blade half buried in the ice, insisting she could talk to it even if I couldn't. She strained to listen, muttering.
What are you saying?
Then her tone flipped to raw panic.
Woonhwi, run, don't say anything, just run.
It was already too late. Something massive tore free of the dark, and my hand went straight for the Southern Heaven iron sword. The thing burst out of the rock in one violent heave. I'd never seen anything like it.
I don't know either. I've never seen something like this before.
Ossian said, staring at it.
It looked really gross.
Blind in the dark, I couldn't tell where the strikes were coming from. I just needed to get clear. 2 eyes opened in the black, and I knew we were done running.
Be careful, Woonhwi, it's coming.
Ossian shouted.
I think it's too late to run away.
I said back. The thing lunged.
Dodge and hit it away with your blade.
She called. I didn't know if it would work on a monster, but I swung, using its own attack against it. I threw the second form of the luminous star sword technique, the hidden toad slash.
It's hard,
I thought, gritting through it.
but there were definitely soft spots. What is it?
Ossian asked.
What's certain?
I said.
Is that it's not impossible to win against.
The creature answered with a low growl, and I knew I'd actually heard it. It moved slower now, more careful, like it was actually scared of me.
Take this as your chance, don't let it go.
Ossian yelled.
I know,
I said and meant it. I charged in with everything I had left.
I'll kill it no matter what.
I told myself.
With the strongest power I have right now.
The first form came next, the Tiger Force sword, and it landed clean.
I did it, the attack worked. Amazing, it's fallen.
Ossian said. For 1 second I actually believed it was over. Then the words died in my throat.
That's great, it wasn't really even that steep.
I couldn't finish, my legs gave out, and I went down into the water. Ossian crouched over me, panicked.
What's wrong, Woonhwi? Are you okay?
It's hot, was all I could get out. The sword spirit shrieked.
What's that? What happened?
The venom was crawling up from a cut on my ankle, and my innate core energy fought back, but the pain wouldn't quit. It felt like my own throat was catching fire from the inside. I bit straight into Clear Summer's recovery, betting a sacred herb's cold on outrunning the venom's heat. Ice seemed to pour down my throat, and heat and cold collided inside me at once.
Woonhwi, get it together and control the energy inside. Hurry.
The sword spirit screamed.
Hey, did you regress just to die like this?
I snapped at myself.
Get it together.
Sodom was right. If I couldn't push through pain like this, I was no better than the coward I'd been in my last life. So I forced my breathing steady, and slowly my mind held.
Thanks, Sodom, I'm living through this no matter what.
Then I felt it again, that same faint blue light flickering across my hand. A voice I didn't know echoed past the stars.
Since you can hear swords, let Marak open.
I'd heard it riding the blue flower, and placing it broke my focus. Both energies inside me lunged at once to do damage, and I screamed through it. Then another voice roared over the chaos.
Don't stop, keep circulating your innate core energy.
That voice belonged to the Southern Heaven Iron Sword.
You can't let the two energies sweep you away.
The Southern Heaven Iron Sword said.
Don't force them down, guide them along your core energy's own current.
I asked if that meant guiding with the flow and gave it a try, picturing my innate core energy as a lake, calm even under lightning and thunder, letting both currents burn themselves out against it until they were nothing but ripples. The two energies finally calmed. I'd made it. When my mother's sword spirit asked whether the poison had settled, I thanked her and the Southern Heaven Iron Sword together, but she had no idea what I meant. She hadn't spoken those words at all. The voice guiding me through the storm belonged to the sword itself, and somehow I could hear it now. Even my eyes were shifting color again. Something told me this gift for hearing swords might lead me to whatever the sword immortal had left behind. Before I could size up the monster's corpse, the ice around me exploded and threw me off the cliff. Ossian caught me.
Why did you throw yourself off? I didn't, it was barely a push, and my whole body flew.
She told me to check myself with my cultivation technique. The core Ossian told me to check had nearly doubled, decades of training packed into one afternoon. The sword said my innate core energy was tied to my life force, and it only grew this fast under mortal danger, like what I'd just survived. That power alone could rival a first-rate master. Then Ossian lit up.
Woonhwi, I just got a great idea. Do it again.
Ossian teased.
And your core doubles again, enough for 60 years training.
I bolted before she laughed.
I'm kidding, can't I joke a little?
Then my mother's sword accused me of trying to ditch her.
Sorry, it's freezing, let me carry you in my robe.
Behind us, two trackers followed our footprints through the snow, and one of them, heavyset, was already falling behind. I stayed low and listened. One tracker said following Woonhwi had paid off. Her partner shrugged. They only needed the herb and a way out of the Six Blood Valley. Then claws tore from the dark and cut them both down.
That's mine,
the masked woman said, wrenching the herb free.
Not bad for a subordinate of the Blood Hand Demoness, but face to face, this goes differently.
Two red slashes cut the dark, and the thief who'd ambushed us hit the ground before I registered it. Hanbika, the sixth blood star, stood over him, the stolen herb glowing in her palm.
Do you people know who you just ambushed?
She asked. He could only beg.
Please forgive me.
She turned to me.
Yes, it's the immortal snow herb that they stole. You found it.
Hanbika said the herb was safe, time to head back. Ossian refused.
No, master, please head back first. I need to return to where I came from.
Hanbika blinked.
What?
I was gone already, tearing through snow, barely winded. My innate core energy was making my whole body stronger now. Then I spotted her.
Lady Heian, that glutton.
Jawabik squinted.
Guess your senses leveled up too.
We caught up mid-reunion. Lady Heian spotted the cuts on Ossian's feet.
Are you badly injured?
Ossian shrugged it off.
Just scratched. Did you recover the herb? Thanks to my master, I caught them.
Lady Heian said.
But I'd like to apologize to you first.
Lady Heian sent the herb ahead with her master, but swore the tablet was still coming. Someone doubted it. I had a feeling there was a catch. Later in a lantern-lit hall, she made her pitch to action.
Help me with my request, and the tablet is yours.
He didn't blink.
I don't want any part of that.
Lady Heian didn't back down.
You already know it, don't you? You only have two options, no matter what you want. Please work with us, otherwise.
Action walked off into the snow, hat low, wind howling. One eye caught the light before he vanished.
You're not thinking of the other option, are you?
Hanbika pressed action to decide already. He refused.
You think I'll cure some disciples' ruined core just because you want me to? Then I won't be handing over the tablet,
she said flatly. I walked in, no idea what I'd missed.
I've returned, master,
I said. He laughed.
You're too late, you'll never fix that core.
Action told Hanbika she'd need another immortal snow herb.
Pardon, what do you mean?
He held up the flower.
A real one carries 7 beads in the petals. This only has 5.
He laughed.
Guess you're hunting again.
Then I stepped in.
Sorry to interrupt, master. I brought back a fully grown one.
7 beads, dead silence. Action roared with pride.
as expected of my disciple.
I turned to him.
Master, was the sixth blood star really going to hand you the tablet?
He waved it off, laughing, insisting she'd only threatened him. Then her voice cut in from behind him.
Since when did I threaten you?
Action froze mid-laugh.
So you did agree to it.
The room went dead quiet, Hanbika and Ossian trading one stunned look. Action just confirmed it.
I'm right, aren't I? This matter is resolved then.
Ossian didn't look thrilled, but a bet's a bet. Rewind now to before Heian and I even made it back to the Six Blood Valley, when Ossian rounded on me first.
What? You can't trust my master. I already taught you my technique.
I reminded her.
And you still don't trust me. I trust you,
Ossian said.
I'm just not sure the sixth blood star will hand over that tablet.
I told her if my own master broke his word, I'd follow him anyway.
Are you certain? Of course,
she snapped.
What kind of disciple doubts their own master? Then let's bet on it. You can keep trusting your master,
I said.
I'll trust my own judgment.
Action already had the snow herb, so arguing over who found it first was pointless.
I know, I'm sorry about that.
Ossian admitted, then pressed for a wager anyway.
If I lose face, and I give up the divine physician's tablet your master would have gotten. You'd give that up. What do you want if you win?
Then Action dropped the real twist.
I'd like that person's tablet,
he said. Bika and I both froze.
She cut off her own finger.
I blurted. Hanbika was already bowing to fix it.
Elder Hanbika, apologize for the disrespect she showed you. Cutting off an arm wouldn't cover it, but I hope you'll be generous, since I'm minding an important person right now.
Elder Hay laughed it off.
What unsightly behavior to show a physician. Cuckoo, more importantly, keep your promise. Of course,
Bika said.
But the tablet goes to my disciple, not me. Doesn't matter,
Elder Hay said.
We'll expect the same from you.
I had my own appointment.
Come back tomorrow at noon.
I told his disciple.
I've got time,
Elder Hay said.
Let me check your condition.
Next day noon, Six Blood Valley.
Woonhwi, doesn't this feel off to you?
Heian asked.
Everyone was careful around her, same as when the divine physician changed his tone.
I remembered how the blood hand demoness had shifted the second she glanced at Heian. And that woman just stood there unbothered while her own master cut off a finger, outranking a demoness's disciple.
Her daughter,
Heian guessed.
No,
I said.
The blood cult leader's granddaughter. That glutton. That's a strange way to hide,
I said.
Gaining weight just to be overlooked. Didn't she complain about needing to lose it?
Heian asked if Sodom really was the blood cult leader's last grandchild. She was next in line to run the whole cult, which made her worth killing for. Then Heian spotted a shadow.
Who's that woman behind the curtain? Probably a substitute. There's still one thing that bothers me. Again, what now?
This is blood cult territory. Maybe the leader had more than one grandchild, all scrambling to inherit it, and whichever one it was, she was right here in the valley. Then the voices hit, dozens of swords screaming at once inside my skull, screaming to see blood, to kill, to draw my weapon and fight.
Woonhwi, what's wrong?
Heian grabbed my arm, a side effect, apparently, of the ability I just gained. The sword voices screamed for blood inside my head, and circulating my innate core energy was supposed to quiet them down. It didn't. While I stood there trying, a woman in a straw hat appeared out of nowhere.
Who are you? How did you get in here? I'm a trainee,
was all I got out before her blade cut past my guard. She looked almost impressed.
For a trainee, huh? You're still alive,
she said, sword already swinging again. Her strike looked almost lazy to me, like she had all the time in the world and I still couldn't get out of the way. 20 years of borrowed innate core energy had given me more confidence than I'd earned, and one hit from her wrung it back out of me, insides twisted like a wet rag. She just smiled.
Interesting.
Before she could finish me, the crowd broke in screaming. Stop, he's not just a trainee, he's Elder Hay's disciple. That single sentence changed everything.
You should have told me that from the start. I almost killed you for nothing. Your master raised a good one. You're the first person my age who's managed to block my attack. Is your master doing well? Healthy, prouder than ever if you ask me.
No one had seen her in years, not since she earned her title, the second Blood Star. That was who'd been toying with me. One of Elder Hay's other disciples grabbed her sleeve.
Didn't you say you were leaving? I'll go when I want, stop rushing me. People are going to think you own Six Blood Valley, talking like that.
I let them argue and called out.
Are you here?
Elder Hay stepped out onto the temple steps, and I could have kissed the ground he stood on.
Welcome,
he said right on time.
TCH, that spoiled all my fun. I'm leaving.
She turned back to me on her way out.
Send my regards to your master, and let's fight again sometime.
My blood ran cold. My old master once warned me about women exactly like her. She gave me goosebumps. Whatever killing intent she'd left behind still hung over the courtyard like heat off a stove. One of Elder Hay's disciples pulled me out of it.
Elder Hay is looking for you.
Inside, Elder Hay pressed a hand to my bare back, and his frown deepened.
You've got more cold energy built up in you than most people ever will. How did you end up eating an immortal snow herb?
Pardon. I'm a physician, Elder Hay said.
I won't speak to anyone else about a patient. Tell me everything.
So I told him about the waterfall, the herb, and the four-eyed, human-faced monster guarding it.
The human-faced purple-eyed viper, that's rare to survive.
He called it more demon than animal, a thing that hates the light. He frowned.
The immortal snow herb doesn't purify poison, so why is your body clean?
Cold and hot energy were moving through me, and somehow neither one was winning.
I'm also carrying yang energy now, and it's clean, no poison in it at all. Your innate core energy must have burned the poison out. The two energies are balancing each other, melting into your body like elixirs would. So once my core's fixed, I could build power fast. That depends on how hard you work.
Elder Hay ran a hand over the mixed energy in my chest and said balanced yin and yang meant I'd build power faster than anyone with a clean core. His disciple caught wind the divine physician's tablet might be headed my way and tried her luck.
Sir, are you unable to treat my energy core?
He didn't blink.
What is there to cure when it's perfectly fine?
She froze. Elder Hay pointed out sparks drifting through my ruined core, energy that had somehow come back to life on its own, rare enough that most people gave up before it ever happened.
Are you saying my energy core recovered by itself? That's the only guess I have.
He handed over the divine physician's tablet regardless.
Have it. Thank you, sir. No need, I didn't do anything.
This was basically two divine physician miracles for the price of one, since curing myself would have cost me the other.
How did your energy core recover? The viper's poison, it purified what was left of me. Guess I owe that snake my thanks.
She laughed.
Hey, Southern Heaven, why so quiet? My old master only mastered his technique after destroying his own core.
Two cores could coexist if I didn't grab for everything at once. Out in the snow, Beck Action eyed me and grumbled.
How troublesome, you sure have the strangest occurrences.
Two more figures stepped in behind him.
To think you'd meet not just one, but both of them.
He said. Both, it turned out, were the past patriarch's granddaughters, one the glutton I knew as Sodom. Beck Action looked thrown.
What do you mean I've met both of them?
Then quieter.
That woman was right, guess I have to make a decision.
My mind went to the story behind him, the past patriarch who once tore through everything like a fierce storm, strong enough that uniting the whole martial world hadn't felt like a dream. But enough enemies combining their strength made his fall inevitable. He kept going.
I thought I'd use what time I had left to finish what I couldn't in my last life. Even so, I'm watching what he left behind grow from a weed into a flower.
The redhead cut in.
What would you do in a time like that? Pardon, if you're just going to watch it bloom, fine.
She said.
But shouldn't you prepare fertilizer to help it along?
She weighed it hand over her face.
Going by what I truly think, Action won't pick a side, but my answer will sway him regardless. We'll need more forces.
Someone teased her.
You like fatso.
Action just laughed.
You two will have plenty to do, Kukuku. 6 months left, be a captain by then.
The horizon of the future I knew was shifting into something nothing like my last life. Beck Action's full story escaped me, but this much was certain. When the blood cult moved again, he'd defy orders and fight alone, losing his right arm to one of the 8 strongest masters 6 years from now. That could change. In my last life, I'd been a nobody trainee. Now I was a Supreme's disciple, bound to the past patriarch's granddaughters. Nothing matched the life I remembered. I kept turning it over in my head. 2 cores, one ruined and one rebuilding, wouldn't grow fast unless I pulled yin and yang through my vessels quicker.
Southern Heaven know any decent cultivation technique?
I asked. She admitted there was a perfect one. Then I asked about the golden blood body technique, and her voice went cold.
That will.
She started and stopped.
Master told me to never teach that to anyone.
She said that was it, no argument, no room to negotiate. Whatever the golden blood body technique really was, no Zhangdi had sealed it shut long before I ever picked her up. Master had been gone so long I started wondering if he'd come back at all. Then a brash disciple swaggered up, all teeth.
I thought we could learn a cultivation technique from you too.
He said,
Since we're all his disciples, Master won't mind, would he?
He called himself my equal. Then came 3 quiet words 3 days later. My wrists throbbed raw where the technique tore through the skin. Beck Action and the black-white twin demons fought using this, I thought, gritting through it. Now I understood exactly why they said a normal physique couldn't take it. Most bodies would have given out before mine did. I was still weighing whether to alternate between this and another method when I sensed someone approaching. A masked stranger stepped up.
Hi there, may I have a moment? The 6th blood star sent me.
Hanbika wanted to see me. She held up a small tablet.
You can't meet Lady Heian right now,
she said.
She cut off 2 of her own fingers. Elder Hei reattached them.
Even holding the tablet, I couldn't get over it. They said the all-healing divine physician could cure anything short of raising the dead, but reattaching severed fingers, that was a different kind of impossible made real.
Fascinating, someone mused. I wonder if he can reattach a severed head too.
Then a hand seized my wrist, a demon technique I never saw coming. It was Hanbika, pouring her own energy into me to test what I had left.
Take these herbs,
she said.
They'll help your core energy recover. Don't waste that tablet on anything unnecessary.
Then,
would you dare make a bet with me?
I just stood there and stared at her, throat tight, my eyes stinging like I might actually cry. All I could manage was one word.
Pardon.
She wasn't finished with me yet, watching me the way you watch someone you already expect to fold once an offer this good lands in front of you.
If you're worried I'd claim the life debt between you two, don't be.
Hanbika said. I waved it off.
I wouldn't dare bet against you. Please take back the request.
She just smiled.
If you win, I'll teach you something.
Her face went unreadable for a second.
Indeed, pretty good,
she said, like she was already 3 steps ahead of whatever answer I was about to give, and had been the whole time we'd been talking. Then the smile came back.
Well, it still depends on what we're going to do for the bet, though. What will we be doing?
Hanbika grinned.
Step forward.
A girl I didn't recognize stepped up, all bright-eyed and grinning like we were already old friends catching up after years, spent apart doing who knows what.
Long time no see. I became the disciple of the 6th blood star. Do you know me? What, you're so mean.
Then it hit me, a road, a caravan, faces I'd buried.
You're Manhwa.
Recognition finally landed. Hanbika cut straight to business, laying out exactly why she dragged the girl over here in the first place, whether I liked the terms or not.
There's a title promotion test in 6 months. I intend to groom her into an advanced warrior before that.
A companion scoffed.
Half a year, that's awfully confident. What is the bet about? It's really simple,
Hanbika said.
Whichever of you reaches advanced warrior first wins the bet.
I turned it over fast, running every angle before I let myself agree to anything with her, because nothing about the blood cult ever came free. I needed a captain's rank regardless, and if I won, I'd walk away having learned from one of the cult's best. No real downside. None I could see.
All right, I accept your bet, and I'll see you in 6 months,
I said. Behind me, glances went around. One of them muttered doubts under his breath. Something about how nobody sane bets against a man who's never once agreed to a wager he could lose. She waved it off.
Don't worry, with Yenwa's talent, there's no way she loses. You can do it right, Yenwa. Why, yes, of course.
6 months slid by, and I stood once more in Six Blood Valleys Plaza, waiting on my name for the cadet promotion test alongside everyone else. One challenger dropped in a single hit. A beaten cadet dropped to his knees.
I beg of you, give me another chance.
The squad commander didn't blink.
Cadet, I watched your test. You know how promotions work in this cult.
He laid out the training ladder fast, fist forms, formation drills, then a stone wall cracked with raw energy before advanced rank ever got within reach.
We give everyone the same shot.
The squad commander told the beaten cadet.
No exceptions for anyone.
Then he pressed harder.
What about the 8 strongest masters in the world? Did they get handed their marks too?
The valley officers were still smoothing over an earlier mess, one of them bowing low. One officer asked if they should punish him.
Don't bother,
the squad commander said, moving on.
Now we'll start the test for advanced warriors.
But nobody was watching the stone. Every eye had slid past me. Who's that barbarian? Who are all these people? Someone gasped. Then a voice cracked forth supreme. Action didn't bother with modesty.
Our cult judges this test by results alone. I'm sure my disciple clears the intermediate level easily.
He said,
Stop dancing around it.
Bika cut in.
Can it be done or not?
Flustered, the commander managed only. I felt old resentment simmering under it. Out on the crowded street, someone snapped at the gawkers and another voice barked, Stop it. A voice warned that people were watching us talk. Action waved it off.
Since when do I care what lesser officers think?
It's not that, the squad commander said.
These are squad commanders serving under the other 7 blood stars, scouting talent. Let's prove your disciples are qualified first.
One of them murmured that he had a point. Bika cut in.
Then do what he's suggesting.
No wonder every commander's circling him, someone muttered. Action asked.
Aren't you here for the advanced warrior test too?
I won't deny that, the commander said. Bika turned to him.
What do we need for them to qualify? Prove you have the right to take it, procedure or not. That much we'll need to save face.
Yes, master, Yenwa said. 6 months in, she no longer looked hollow. She looked sure of herself. Yenwa let out a shout, and the plaza lit up with fire. That's the 6th Blood Star's technique. She was a basic warrior 6 months ago. No wonder she wants the advanced test, someone gasped. Bika allowed herself a small smile.
I'm embarrassed, but I did my best. That proves she's qualified.
The commander said. Are you using internal energy for your test? Someone asked me.
I intend to,
I said. I'd gotten stronger these 6 months. I'll win this bet, I told myself. But I didn't know how much power my internal energy alone could pull.
Brace yourself in case you lose face here,
Bika warned. Thanks to what action taught me, I'd built strength in 6 months, enough that holding back might mean I couldn't even crack the stone. I decided to go in at 80%. Hug. I drove my fist into the world's stone. It gave way easier than expected, my knuckles buried in the rock. That's not just a mark, he got that strong in a year, someone shouted. I couldn't even pull my fist back out.
Guess you don't know how much strength to use,
he said. Jaywabik shoved in next with his golden blood body, barely denting the same stone, and claimed he'd held back. The world's stone lay broken clean in half. Is his fist made of steel, that strong in a year? Impressive, someone blurted. Jaywabik preened.
Everyone's staring at me, huh?
Not you, someone said flatly. They're staring at Woonhwi. Laughter burst out of him.
All 3 of my disciples are ready for the advanced test.
The commander cut in.
You're mistaken, 4th Supreme. We're not here for the advanced test. We want the test for Captain.
The rule for the advanced warrior test was simple. Survive 12 moves from a first-rate martial master, and you counted as an advanced warrior yourself, no questions asked. They were clearly holding back the whole time. Then action rounded on me.
Hey, did you make a bet with the blood hand demoness? Pardon, Woonhwi, I saw her gulp.
That stung.
Didn't think that bet would come up here.
Walking off, I thought about how there was still something the Blood Hand Demoness didn't know, something that could tip the whole bet back in my favor somehow, though. Action turned on her.
Is this bet just to get you to persuade me? I already told him everything.
She said.
Tusk, always grabbing an angle. My apologies.
He laughed.
Cuckoo, interesting bet. I'll make her teach him the skill.
The third method to become captain was brutal. Fight two advanced warriors armed with real steel at the same time and beat them both inside 100 moves. Word went around that the fourth Supreme trained his disciples well.
Captain Goo's just jealous. Show them the luminous star sword technique.
Two warriors stepped forward.
To thank the fourth Supreme's disciple, I request a humble bout.
Ho Yun echoed it. Though they doubted me, both fighters bowed with respect.
I hope for a good match.
I said. Captain Goo raised a fist.
Start.
Blades flashed on both sides at once. One thought he had me cold.
End this now.
Then a voice cut through my skull from behind me, a warning I didn't choose to obey, and my blade was already moving before I decided to.
What?
He choked.
How did you react without looking?
One of them muttered, wondering out loud whether I'd left my back open on purpose, just to bait their combined attack without so much as flinching.
He's got real experience. No wonder he's taking the captain test. Of course, he trained 4 months, 500 mock sessions with Action and the others.
I just remembered getting beaten up again, not even close to serious. Then the second warrior dropped in, readying another strike. They're changing formations, I thought, watching him drop toward me. Green energy roared off his blade, real technique now. A hard strike you counter with more force, sure, but what happens when it's not force at all, when it's a soft, flowing blade that bends around whatever you throw at it? I answered with void flow slash, and my blade scattered his charge into nothing.
You're impressive.
Ho Yun sneered, circling wide with his blade still trailing green light.
But you're still just a kid.
Was the last thing he got out before his own strike spun back and caught him instead. Confusion flashed across his face. I didn't hesitate, reaching for something heavier. Luminous star sword technique, fourth form.
Rising dragon slash.
Blue light tore through the space between us.
That's shit.
Ho Yun staggered, blade raised.
I can't see in front of me.
He choked out, then his eyes went wide. I was already moving into the fifth form.
Damn it.
He snarled, throwing up a last, desperate guard that had no chance of holding against what was falling toward him from somewhere he couldn't track anymore. Meteor strike cleave came down, and the fight ended right there. Huff, Ho Yun's blade sagged, blood already welling under my last cut.
Stop the bleeding,
I told him,
so I can pull my dagger free.
The masked judge sighed.
We lost. You're definitely qualified to become a captain.
The crowd went off. I'd beaten 100 move limit in barely a handful of exchanges, and even I hadn't expected that. They called Beck Action a monster who won on force, so pairing me with him through Hanbika felt like a jackpot. Barely a year since my core came back from ruin, 6 months under him, I was trading blows with 4-star masters.
There's no way that's true.
A blood cult elder scoffed until someone explained why his art wasn't training. It was a technique built for a demon god.
Kyukoko, you did great.
Action rumbled, hearing how the match went. Ranked against the Southern Heavens swordsman's own style, I'd actually held my own.
Zhongdi, you should have been here to see this.
He told a ghost only he could see. Then the redhead stepped forward, chin high.
Master, I'll take the captain test too. 6 months under you built me from nothing. I'll protect your pride and win that bet.
Unfortunately, she came back a failure. Damyewa hit the ground groaning, a red slash cut clean across the stone in front of her, proof of exactly how the fight ended. She'd lost in around 50 moves. I hadn't seen the match, only the aftermath, and it told me everything about how far ahead of her I actually was.
Fool.
A blood cult elder snapped. Word around 6 Blood Valley was that in half a year, the advanced warriors had started calling me Action's true heir. Sodom shrugged.
He's unlucky, honestly. Push this fast, he can't widen his foundation properly.
Someone turned on Action himself.
You've raised some amazing disciples. HMPH, are you mocking me? Of course not, but that sword technique of his. Cuckoo, stop changing the subject. You've gotten less sharp.
The elder needled.
You don't recognize the Southern Heaven swordsman's own sword technique.
That name landed hard, Yunan's ruler dead, his sword manual now apparently mine to wield.
He's dead.
Action confirmed flatly, holding up the very book.
Did you kill him for it? Congratulations.
Another added half-mocking. Action's face went tight.
It's a little early to reveal that truth now. That's not a complete manual.
Action admitted.
I fought him more than anyone, knew him better than he knew himself. So that means, yes.
He'd rebuilt whole passages from memory, testing them against me until they held.
You could say he's successor to both of us, me and the Southern Heaven swordsman.
Action said. Sodom froze, stunned.
I think that's good. My master's legacy would have died with him otherwise.
Jinbeek barely scraped it out, blood streaming from his nose after grinding through the full 100 moves. Word around us was he looked worse off than the guy who just lost.
Unless you're trying to embarrass me, fool.
Action growled at someone showing off.
Apologies,
came the sheepish reply. Sodom gave him a flat.
Great job.
Action muttered about sloppy tactics under his breath, then waved the last examinee forward. While the results were still trickling in, I watched a scarred instructor round on two of his own fighters, ordering Duke Kaiyang and Kang Kiji to gang up on some unlucky candidate who'd apparently underperformed like his brother before him. 2 against 1 elsewhere in the crowd. People near me muttered about someone smoother and sharper than expected. Then it turned messy. Fast. It ended with a scream of surrender. The board came back. So Woonhwi and another candidate had passed. People around me were already begging to keep him, relieved they'd only crossed him once. Action laughed. Final tally. I passed. Jwabik passed. Woonhwi passed. Damn Yewa failed. Nowhere close to captain rank. On the way there, Jwabik elbowed me.
Another one's watching you, Haiyang.
His word for his older sworn brother. Then came the name, Baekryonhwa. Word spread that Baekryonhwa had been through something brutal. The white-haired girl leaned in.
You recognized her at a glance, my good instincts, or... Don't talk nonsense.
I cut in. Action walked ahead of us toward the main hall.
Master, why are we even going there? What happens next matters more than you think.
He said. Rows of candidates stood waiting. The selection ceremony had begun. The white-haired girl asked what a selection ceremony was. Simple. Every warrior who just passed gets posted on a board, and captains and supremes claim whoever they want, intermediate captains choosing first. It decides whose banner you fight under for years. Officials muttered that this year's crop looked unusually strong. Someone asked Action if he'd be picking 2.
No, he said. I don't have a single captain under me.
Action didn't wait for objections.
I'll start first,
he said, and started marking names before anyone answered. Red slashes tore down the board, one after another.
There's a total of 37 candidates,
he said.
I'll cut the bottom 10.
Then he pointed higher.
The ones on top, I'm bringing all of them with me.
The crowd froze, all 27. He laughed like it barely registered as a decision.
Since I've left 10 candidates to be fair to you guys.
Action said, grin never dropping.
You can discuss it, fight over it, do whatever you want. Just bring back 1 each.
He'd already taken the best 27 for himself. The 10 he tossed back weren't a gift. They were scraps, and everyone in that hall knew it. An official complained that Action had claimed too many candidates, insisting he'd promised to operate alone and that fair assignment was impossible.
Too many,
Action said, amused.
I'm building my own force.
He went on.
Since I don't have 1 person under me, I was going to reject everyone. I left you a few to save time.
Someone muttered that only a monster shrugs off taking every candidate there was.
I could just settle this myself.
Action said.
Anyone with a problem can come find me.
Someone near him threatened to rip his mouth apart.
If that's what you want.
He answered unbothered. Around us, officials admitted there was nothing left to argue. He'd shown his strength and the warriors were his. The white-haired girl leaned in.
I've been thinking,
she said.
Isn't this a good opportunity for you?
6 of us had passed the advanced warrior test, ready to be paraded out. Sodom was already sparring with words instead of a blade.
Since when did you get so timid? Excuse me, I'm plenty capable of that.
Beside them, someone else just sighed.
Just be quiet.
She was told. Okay. Then the call came, all 6 of us stepped forward. Every commander got one speech to win us over. Off to the side, Action roped Sodom into recruiting duty.
We need every one of them.
He told her.
Use that gift of yours.
She wasn't buying it.
Master, come on, I'm not on your level. You'd sell it better yourself. Are you asking me to toot my own horn?
Then he turned to one of his men.
Get down to the 4th Blood Squad's turf.
Yes, sir. Squad commanders squabbled over who'd pitch first. Seniority, one insisted, should settle it. I watched candidates jockeying just to avoid going first, everyone angling for a better spot in line. When my turn came to choose, I dropped myself to the very back.
Why'd you put yourself last?
A fellow candidate asked. I just shrugged.
No harm in taking my time.
One commander after another stood to sell themselves, blade rank here, personal instruction from the 3rd Supreme there. 9 speeches in, it all blurred together.
This is so boring.
I muttered.
Are they all just saying the same thing?
Then I caught it, every single one kept glancing toward the same candidate after every line. That candidate they kept checking on was me. Word had gotten around, I'd countered an advanced warrior inside 10 moves. One name nagged at me like I'd heard it before, and it didn't sit right. Then he stepped forward.
Nice to meet you. I run the 4th Blood Squad, White Blood.
The others went quiet. He never showed interest in anyone. Now he was watching me.
I won't speak on the 1st Blood Star,
he said.
My seniors covered that already. The Supremes and Blood Stars don't need me listing their names, but I'll say this. I fought beside the 1st Blood Star on Ogre Peak, right at the front of it.
The name hit something the second he said Ogre Peak. That's Beggar Sect ground. Just like that, I remembered exactly who he was. He was a spy, a Beggar Sect man planted inside a blood cult recruiting drive. I froze. I already knew how his story ended. In half a year he'd get caught and executed for it.
If we leave him to it, he dies alone and ugly. You going to help him?
Someone asked.
Why would I?
I said.
All I want out of this is a seat with a Blood Star.
Word had come down from the Destruction Blood Squad's commander. The man was supposedly from the Hao clan, and Action wasn't letting that go.
Make sure you recruit him to our side.
He told me. I just stood there afterwards, stewing. This is driving me nuts, I thought. Does he have any idea he's ordering me to recruit an actual spy? One favor is all I asked Action for before my turn came. Behind me, somebody muttered that old man was about to chew me out. 6 candidates stood there decided, arms crossed. None of them had heard the angle I was about to use. So I stepped up.
Nice to meet you,
I said.
Just like you, I started as a disciple too. Squad Captain So Woonhwi, that's me.
6 candidates in total, I figured, but 5 would hear me out first.
Elder Eccentric's disciple, one of the 4 Supremes, that's what I am.
I said.
Luckier than any of you.
A couple scoffed, sure I was bragging. Didn't matter, I kept going.
Talking up my master's exploits is pointless.
I added. Action went purple.
What pointless? No,
I said.
That's proof, if anything.
2 disciples nearby made the point for me, candidate to squad leader in 1 year.
1 year,
I said.
That's not luck, that's an objective result.
Someone in the crowd muttered it was only because the 4th Supreme trained them. Another candidate cut in, got barked at for interrupting. Getting under their skin only proved I was winning.
There's one more thing,
I said.
Master only has 3 disciples.
I said.
Me and the twins, 4 people total.
A few smirked, figuring that was a weakness. It wasn't.
We're small now,
I told them.
But soon plenty will join and you'd be at the center of it, like the founders of the Murim Alliance. Everyone else offers more, but wherever you go, you start at the bottom.
So ask yourself, I said.
Do you want to start at the dragon's tail or its head? We're few, but that makes us family.
Action lit up like I'd handed him a gift.
Family, and I love it.
He bellowed, delighted. Behind me, someone snorted that it was the most wholesome master-disciple act they'd ever seen, then called it a total scam. Hearing myself say family, I felt guilty too.
Squad leader So, I'd like to join your affiliation,
said Lee Jayo, the first candidate to commit.
Welcome,
I told him. Relief washed over me. If I'd come back empty-handed, action would have made my life hell. He whooped.
Great.
Before I'd even finished celebrating, another candidate was already jogging over.
Please take me, let me live,
he begged. Stunned, I stood there at how needy this had gotten.
Put me in your affiliation too,
said Ha Moonshin, the second recruit. Action grinned.
Welcome to hell. This one I like him, Kuhemahaha.
2 in a row felt too easy, and that made me uneasy. Then came the real target, Jo Sungwon, strong enough to beat the other 5 candidates. Everyone wanted him. The catch was he came poisoned, like wine meant for an emperor.
I would like to.
Everyone at the trial worked every angle to land Jo Sungwon, but chasing someone with a goal that clear was pointless. His goal, take down the solitary blood saint. Recruiting him meant swallowing a fish full of bones, and a sect as small as ours had 0 shot at convincing him.
You cannot let him go to anyone else.
He'd fallen for him completely, so there was no choice left. 10 years as a spy taught me exactly what a spy's worst moment looks like, and Jo Sungwon was living it, planning to face the solitary blood saint alone.
Hell,
I called out and he spun around, startled.
Being the strongest of the 6 doesn't make that plan smart.
Dam Yewa and I walked up together.
What do you want?
He asked. The ceremony announced him as their newest candidate, and someone even started gushing about his odds against the solitary blood saint before catching themselves. Sungwon walked straight to Beck Action and bowed.
I would like to be part of your affiliation.
Action roared, delighted.
Done, he's changed his mind. I've altered history.
I just stood there, wondering if that had been the right call. Word must have spread through some whispering technique, because voices crowded into my head all at once, none of them happy. One demanded to know why I'd said yes to him. Another asked if I meant to recruit every candidate. A third just asked if I had any shame left. I kept my eyes shut.
It's already hard,
I said, and left it there. The tally posted Lee Jayo, Ha Moonshin, Jo Sungwon, 4 names deep. Action read it and needled me anyway.
The persuasion skill you bragged about looks like only 60% of it worked.
60 sounded like I'd lost half the room, not won it, but he'd landed a fist to my chest, laughing. Then a masked voice cut through the trees.
I didn't sense any presence. Who is it?
Someone whispered the stranger must know Action. None of us had seen him this warm. The man bowed.
Sorry, Elder, it was interesting, so I watched.
Action told us to greet him. The bald elder pressed his palms together.
I greet you, young masters. I'm Jang Moonwon, the Hojong squad commander.
Jae Wabik and I introduced ourselves. Then he turned back.
I secured Old Mountain County's members as ordered, and the results. 20 at base rank, 13 intermediate, 2 advanced.
Jang Moonwon reported. Old Mountain County, I realized, another feeder ground for the blood cult, same as 6 Blood Valley.
Not bad, but not great.
Action said.
Better than this one.
Moonwon laughed it off.
My persuasion isn't as good as young masters.
Someone guessed it explained his 6-month disappearance. Someone shouted that the twins had arrived, and 2 disciples came jogging up.
Take a few guys with Woonhwi and bring everything back from the cave.
Action ordered. One of the younger boys asked if they'd finally sleep somewhere warm this winter. Action laughed about the vipers and centipedes they'd been living with. I wondered if I'd made the wrong call. Too late. Someone noted I'd do anything for praise.
Is that why your old master never dated anyone?
The sword spirit added.
And no,
I said.
He was just focused on his sword.
Something else caught my eye across the group, Jo Sungwon watching me without a word. Action clapped once, upbeat.
We're almost there, just over this hill.
Then the trail opened on a jagged cliffs and everyone froze.
If we trip going up there.
I started. Action just grinned.
Don't worry, you won't die.
The White Blood Squad commander pulled me aside, saying he wanted to talk to me alone, while the others grumbled that our master, Action, would have our heads for being late.
You guys come with me.
He barked it. We scrambled up bare rock behind him. By the top, he already knew it all: my ruined core, my mother's blood, the whole clan riding me off as garbage. He recited my file back at me like a trophy. My mother's blood, my ruined core, laid out like he'd earned the right to say it.
This is what I know about you,
he said.
How fitting, coming from a spy.
I shot back. Fire hit me before I finished talking. Clumsy until it wasn't. Someone went pale.
Isn't that the descending dragon 18 palms, the beggar sect leader's technique?
That palm technique belonged to the beggar sect's head alone, which meant a mere squad commander had no business anywhere near it, and yet here he was, throwing it straight at me.
It might have been rough if you actually understood your sword.
He snared.
But not impossible. You know you're no match for me now, right? So answer my questions.
I didn't let him finish.
Don't be mistaken.
He laughed through it.
You fool, I can easily deflect something like thigh.
My strike landed before he finished the sentence.
This attack, you were hiding your power.
He choked out.
A little late to notice.
I said every other fighter there ran on one energy core, but I had two, and no amount of trained inner energy was ever enough to stop what came out of the second. A month earlier, I'd taught the luminous star sword technique to 4 of my new disciples, and sparring against them had pushed me past what any expert could touch. Now I came at one of them fast, blade flashing, and he grunted through the block. He deflected it barely, but he was already past his limit. Then I saw it, an opening.
HMPH, I can see through an obvious attack like that.
He sneered, already sure he'd read my strike, right before I let the real one follow the fake and past his guard.
What?
Was all he managed before it landed.
It's over,
I told him, and he went down with a scream.
Don't be so dramatic,
I said.
I hit you with the flat of the blade.
He just groaned. Why? He asked, still winded. I wasn't going easy on you, I told him. He explained some rider had jumped him earlier that day, and he'd already cut the man down and burned out his energy before landing a hit. Wait, let's talk, he'd begged. Too late. That was the plan, the disciple said before someone swung first. The rider apologized. Don't, the disciple told him. I'm actually thankful. That's the kind of rattled, half-explained answer that always means there's more coming, and there's always more coming. I've got a fresh one of these dropping every day if you don't want to miss it. That grin isn't the end of this story, it's the start of the next one, and I'll be walking through exactly what it means tomorrow. Subscribe now and it just shows up for you. He caught his breath, sword still faintly glowing with that same pale light, and grinned at me in a way that made the hair on the back of my neck stand up before he'd said a single word. I actually had a lot of pent-up anger in me, he said, because of that crazy old geezer. The grin didn't fade even a little. Thanks a lot. Would you trade Beck Action's brutal training for that kind of power, grin included? That grin at the end, ally you'd want at your back. Or a problem waiting to happen, tell me you're read.